everybody. What's up? What's going on?
Oh, now we're live. Okay.
Hi.
Hey, everybody.
What's up?
What's up? Sorry for the lateness, as Joe said in chat. You know, I had a potential catastrophe on my hands. But we're good.
Oh. I immediately got hit with an ad. YouTube's weird now, Kyle. I don't know what ad setting's the right setting, but I got a reindeer boy. I don't know why.
What does that mean, reindeer boy? What?
There's a man dressed as a reindeer at a theater in Madison Square Garden.
Oh.
I don't want to sound like a shill, but if you want to see Reindeer Boy, no shade, he's at Madison Square Garden. Kyle, how are you doing, bud, before we start the show, because I'm still running a little bit late on my end.
I'm doing okay, other than, you know, the pants almost incident. I'm excited to have our guest Jake here. Hi, Jake.
Hello.
So we're not in it yet. We're doing like a little pre-show kind of thing while Joe gets ready.
Example. It's nice. You're gonna be like, guys really, they're a small unit, but they get it. You know?
Okay. All right.
As I'm typing up the intro that Joe reads right now.
So who can see us right now? Who are these people?
People in YouTube chat.
Lovely.
In YouTube chat.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hello, YouTube chat.
They're nice.
Joe's volume is low.
I did. My mic was weird. I had to pull it out.
Okay. Ooh. Pull out game strong.
I will say, I can attest to Joe's mic being low. I went in on Discord. I right clicked and I brought him up for me.
Yeah, I put it all the way to 200% on Discord now. So
okay.
Hopefully that works.
Yeah.
Hi, Dwani.
Really low.
I can always let me raise it in OBS too, just in case.
Just wait, something's gone awry.
Everything's max now.
Yeah, no, it's even bad. What is going on? It might get super loud in a second.
Oh boy.
Oh, excellent. Okay, get hype.
Chat, be prepared.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Seems the same.
Yeah.
Seems the same. Mike. Oh, my gain. Everything should be right. Mid. Yeah, that's how everything is. Default. I am on default. All right, let me just restart my computer real fast. Sorry,
oh boy.
Jake. Sorry for the technical.
No, please. Time to vamp, baby.
Yeah.
Now, Kyle, it's your turn to vamp. Let's do it. What's up?
So the Philadelphia Phillies.
One of the most
their
hated
way.
teams of my entire life. Chat, everyone, the video's gonna be a little messed up, but I don't want to move it because when Joe's back, it'll fix. Funny thing about Phillies fans.
Please.
As a lifelong Mets fan,
Mm-hmm.
I've been to multiple ballparks around the country.
Okay.
No matter what game I go to, Mets or Phillies aren't even playing. There's always a Phillies fan or row in front or behind me, and it's like the universe knows how to mess with me.
So I guess you just hate brotherly love, is what I'm getting out of this. You just can't stand.
I laugh because that is not the first time I've heard that retort. It's more like on principle being a Mets fan.
Okay.
Just NL East rivals.
I get that.
My hatred for Philly sports is more towards the Eagles. I despise like Eagle fans more than anything. Phillies is just like, you know, baseball. I kind of have to hate on the Phillies, even though I think between the Phillies and the Mets, we have the two best mascots in baseball.
No question.
No questions.
No question. Yeah.
Yeah. Even with your little your Gritty back there. Yeah, I mean, Philly's got some great mascots.
Oh my God. Well, Gritty's a cultural icon.
Absolutely.
Gritty transcends
hockey. All sports.
100%.
Yeah.
I will say the Philly sports have a little bit of heat on them right now because I'm sure you're aware of the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce dating, you know, Travis Kelce, brother to Philadelphia Eagles, Jason Kelce. This, as a huge Taylor Swift fan, this is a very big deal for me.
Yeah.
So this is I'm having a great time. I'm listening to their podcast. I'm listening to Taylor Swift. I'm like, man, this is pretty, but the vibes are immaculate.
Yeah, and like honestly, I have no idea why people are so upset with her being shown all the time.
Oh no, More, please.
Yeah.
More, yeah.
I mean, come on. Like, I don't
Please.
understand the issue.
What am I doing during football? Watching beer commercials, car commercials,
Exactly.
army commercials? What, I don't know.
The refs messing up calls all the time? Come on.
No.
Do you guys think the game's fixed?
Oh my God.
Big fix. Mondo fix.
All right, I'm going back down to like 110. Can you talk, Joe?
I fucking whispered.
Oh God, it's so loud.
Now I gotta
Jesus
put you
Christ.
even lower.
Jesus Christ.
We're at 80 right now.
Mhm.
Okay. How about this?
That's tolerable.
Yeah. Mhm.
Tolerable. Holy shit. I legitimately whispered.
Really?
It's good. Man, it was
I
good.
whispered.
Yeah.
You sounded like my sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah. Whoa.
Hello.
Dewani
like
Chet says caps lock off, Joe.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Now I just got to get the windows back up. Humble brag. My computer's so good it could handle like 5 tabs.
I thought you meant like literal windows, like you were gonna get up and like open some. And I was like, that's weird, but okay, man. Like,
You?
is that? Whoa, we got Joey Ferris in the chat
What
here.
up,
Oh,
Joey?
this
Oh
guy.
my God, my long time. The Shadow the Hedgehog to my Sonic, I would say.
Mm.
Cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I always wanted Shadow the Hedgehog.
Did that new one come out yet? Was that a few days
Yeah,
ago?
just came
Oh,
out
relax.
Tuesday, maybe yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah,
He wants to throw a
yesterday.
little shade at me. That's what he
I
wants.
absolutely not at all. I genuinely forgot when it came out, Joe. But if you brought it up, yeah, it didn't score very well, and your fantasy critic team's going to lose, and you're going to wear Juggalo face paint at the end of the year.
You know what?
That's the bet, Jake. If he beats
Okay.
me, he's going to order me the little tiny little cowboy hats to wear for a show.
Okay.
For what?
Wow.
A whittle cowboy hat me for a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
baby.
If I beat him, he has to paint his face like a Juggalo from Insane Clown Posse for a whole show.
Wow, that's serious.
It's
that's a
very
commitment.
serious.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Now
I
I'm
will
gonna have
do
to check the. I'm gonna have to check the scoreboard later.
Well, I have Spidey 2 and Mario Wonder releasing, and they're both doing pretty well.
Okay.
I'm not
And
afraid, dude.
I also have Alan Wake 2 on my team. I have City
Ooh, okay.
Skylines. I have Slay the
Mhm.
Princess.
I'm not scared of you, dude.
Just saying, greatest RPG of all time, Star Ocean, Second Story R. Come on now.
Oh, yo, now we're talking
See?
Vegas. A Star Ocean appreciator. Oh my God.
It's the
yes.
best one of all time, Jake.
Yes. Oh my God. It's awesome.
All right. I'm pretty much back to normal. Just
Yep.
gotta get one more tab open.
Great.
Now Kyle fails to mention. I got that Mario RPG, baby.
Yeah,
Ooh.
okay.
Okay. We'll
And-
see. We'll see.
I still have hope Silk Song's coming out.
If it,
They said
I
it on
swear
Twitter.
to God, I had a nightmare of like, not a real nightmare, but like a nightmare thought that popped in my head that we're watching the Game Awards live on stream.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff's like, and we're gonna show off a trailer for a game releasing right now, and it's fucking Silk Song.
That's interesting. That's an interesting idea.
just like to mess with everyone.
Yeah.
Be like, I mean, that'd be risky because everyone would stop watching the Game Awards and go download Silk Song. So I don't know the smartest decision, but I could totally see Jeff be doing something like that.
I think I'm gonna be there this year. I think I'm
Ooh.
gonna be there.
Ooh,
I think I'm
suit and
I
tie.
think I'm going. I think I'm trying.
Okay. Okay.
I met Jeff Keighley earlier this year. He said he'd put me on the list. So
Oh.
we'll
Now
see.
could you now that we know we have an inside man in here, could we get Kyle into that future
Yeah,
class? 'Cause-
Yo, I'm trying to get in that future class too, dude.
come on, Jake.
Let's get in there. Let's rock that future class. Let's go. Oh my
It's so
God.
hard to get into. It's crazy.
Dude, extreme. I thought I was getting in last year. I'm not gonna lie. I thought I had it on lock. All right, and then I was rejected. All right.
Oof.
God. Yeah.
Oof.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I think the whole thing's rigged and we're just doing PR for him and that's why I don't participate.
I swear to God, like
Which is
at
why I
least
stopped tagging Joe in for future class things.
at least 9 children in the Game Explained audience submitted me for future class, and that to me, if that does not warm your heart and say, well, we got to put them on future class now, then who are you?
Think of the children, Jeff.
Think of the children. God, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think the whole thing's rigged.
Whoa. Rigged.
It's rigged.
Who benefits from the future class?
I don't. No one.
Mark.
All right, I'm ready.
I am ready as
I'm
well.
ready to go.
Did you
Do
put
have, like,
questions and stuff in, by the way?
Yeah. I don't have a starter question, but I'm just gonna do a simple "How are you?"
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
All right.
You
Chat,
tell me when. You tell me
we
when.
will be back in 1 second.
Oh, wait, no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 346 of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. And this week, we're joined by our very good guest, Jake from Game Explain, here to talk about Spider-Man 2. The Activision Blizzard merger is finally official. Thank God. Trophies on PC, Game Awards date is set, and so much more as we do it live each and every Wednesday night over on youtube.com/@PS Trophy Room each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So with all that said and with all that out of the way, the greatest co-host whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. How are you, sir?
You know, just dandy.
I felt a little threatening at the end of that intro. I don't know why.
You felt
don't know what-
threatening?
Because I was like, each and every Wednesday.
Oh.
Mark it down on your calendar.
How dare you? Watch her, or you end up in a saw trap.
That's right. You better be here or you're square. Kyle, how
I'm
are you
doing okay.
doing? Man?
We're you know, us who can't play it early stare at Jake. Spidey's here in 2 days. So I'm very, very excited. Or for those listening to audio on the day of release, it's here tomorrow.
Ooh-wee.
I'm super excited for that. I'm in that mode where I don't want to play anything but that. So,
Dude, absolute same. I just platted Assassin's Creed Mirage, and I'm like, I got one whole day. What do I do? What do I do with all this time? And like, I'm trying to find games that would like take a day to beat. So like, Alan Wake 2's next week, and I'm like, I could squeeze that in a day. You think? I could squeeze in Alan Wake Remastered. I think certainly I could, Kyle. You know?
all right, well, have fun.
But no, I'm probably gonna finish Cocoon.
Yeah,
That's where I'm at. So I'm just lucky that my gaming paralysis will only last like 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because I already have work off Friday.
Same.
Saturday, I have to go to a wine tasting.
Oh, you have to go.
Have
I
to.
have to. Yes. I have to listen. I gotta be a dandy, you know. I gotta meet the high class living, you know. That's all I gotta. That's what I've strived for.
You need to
Jake.
bring the 19-inch Venom with you,
Oh, absolutely.
so
I'm
you
gonna
can
take
get
him
a
like little
second
baby.
glass of wine. Feel like
Well,
it's
He's
big
gonna
enough.
be in a little. He's gonna be in like a little like
like a baby
carriage.
Bjorn.
Bjorn. I could Bjorn. Yeah. Everybody's like, who's this child with a beard? And I was like, no, I'm a man. I'm a boy. I mean, I'm a man. 100% man. No boy. Jake, how are you, man?
I'm
going?
doing well. I've been enjoying that sweet Spider-Man 2, of course. Excited to get into it with you both, talk about it. But you know, it's just trying to live that crazy young adult life under capitalism in the good old US of A.
Love it.
Doing my best, but so excited to be here with you two. Talk about PlayStation. Talk about
Hell
trophies, perchance.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hot damn. So, Jake, I got a question for you. It's like
Please.
the warm up to the Spider-Man. That is, what's it like having played Spider-Man 2 on PS5? Of course, all spoiler free. Why would we do that? We're not evil. Or some sad person on Twitter. Now, because I always have this thing, once I beat a game, I get game paralysis and I can't really play anything else. How's that like been for you? Because I know you're reviewing all the things.
Right. Yeah. Let me tell you what it's like. So I have platinumed Spider-Man 2 for PlayStation 5.
Sweet.
And I hit new game and started it up again anyways because it is all I want to play.
I love
So
to hear it.
yeah, so when you guys were talking about like nothing's hidden right now, I just want to play Spider-Man. I'm like, same, and I've already played it. So yeah, so it's cool. I will say, as somebody in the game whatever industry we want to say we're in, I've never been somebody that's like, oh man, like the privilege of playing a game early is really important to me. I pass on a lot of reviews, and this is like teaching me why. Because part of me playing Spider-Man was I want to talk about it. I want to experience it with everybody, and I like want to tweet dumb things that are happening. I have so many tweets in my drafts right now of dumb things, and I'm just looking at these tweets like, what? I wasn't made for this. So yeah, so it's a crazy experience. Yeah,
it is a blessing and a curse, right? Because like on one hand, super like honored, humbled, all that stuff, right? And then it's like you get to a thing and you're like, I really want to talk about this thing. I know everybody else is gonna be talking about it.
I ran into that when I beat Liza P, and nobody I knew beat it yet, so I couldn't talk about the end credit stinger, which is bananas. And I'm not gonna spoil it here, but I was just bursting up the team like, Joe, beat it so I can talk to you about it. Mike, beat it so I can talk to you about it. It's insane.
Yep. Kyle, in the Liza P team, I just want to let y'all know I was at a GameStop recently, just over the weekend, even. Because GameStop had a big sale. There's like a whole bunch of clearance things. I got a Forspoken for a good $15.
I did as
while
well.
I'm online. Hear this. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? First off, oh my God, the GameStop employee just trying his best, you know? He's just one man and he has social anxiety. He's not in the best place for this. He's not suited for it. He's trying to explain what Liza P is. And I'm here just like waiting online. He's trying to explain it to like a kid, like late teen, right? And I approached him. I was like, can I just say, I go, young child, hi, Lies of P. You got to play this game. It's amazing. I go, have you ever heard of Bloodborne? He's like, of course not. I was like 7. I'm like, shut up. And I just went into you like Elden Ring? Like, let's just start there, you know? Let's start simple. He's like, yeah, I'm really getting into like the harder games. And I sold him on it.
Sweet.
So I sold a copy of Lies of P. I am responsible. One of the 1 million copies sold. So
did anyone utter the word Pinocchio?
I did.
Okay. All right. I'm just wondering if that comes up in an explanation of Lies of P. So Pinocchio's involved.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Okay. All right.
He's a central character. Yeah. Every time I say it, I'm like, oh God, am I gonna lose him here? But people are like, oh no, that's cool. Yeah. Like, really?
Cool.
All right, because I think it's kind of lame, but all right, we'll go with it. My only problem with Liza P is the setting, but like other than that, great. You know? All right, Kyle, listen, enough shenanigans, enough buffoonery. It's time to get into a little bit of housekeeping before we screw up the news. What?
Wait. I would like to get to know Jake a little bit before we get into it and introduce our audience to Jake.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Jake, who are you? What are you doing here?
Yeah.
And how dare you?
Okay. Hello, Jake Steinberg, writer, comedian, Game Explain editor. I'm the one at Game Explain that goes off the rails.
Oh.
If you think my videos are crazy, you should see the ones that they don't let me make. All right. I don't know. I consider myself a leftist. I'm a Jewish Cuban. My mom's a Cuban immigrant. And
Hispanics.
Yeah, that's right. Hispanic Heritage Month just coming to a close here.
What up?
Shout out. That's right. And what does somebody say during one of these things?
This is my favorite type of unraveling. I do the same thing.
I'll just start. What's your favorite sandwich?
Yeah.
Do I just go to my type 5 or my favorite sandwich? Okay, let's talk. Okay, let's talk. My favorite sandwich would have to be. Are either of you familiar with Wawa?
Of course.
I am not. I'm on Long Island. We don't have a Wawa, but I know of it.
Okay. The classic Italian from Wawa. Okay, we're talking. Oh my God, you get all your sweet meats in there. You get your prosciutto. You get your cheeses. All right, this is a divine experience. Wawa. If you're unfamiliar, look it up. It's fantastic. You think it's just a gas station, and then it changes your god dang life.
That's right. That's right.
That's my favorite sandwich. Yeah.
You go you stop for the gasoline.
That's right.
You stay for the milkshakes you get to make there. the bargain bin
the milkshakes you get
DVDs.
the milk is what you were about to
Yeah,
say.
that's right.
That's
That's
They
right.
got a cow
Listen,
in the back.
You stop because you have to. You
That's right.
stay because you want to.
That's right.
When you're here, you're family.
That's right.
Wawa.
All those things. Yeah.
All right, it's time for a little bit of housekeeping.
Yep.
Let's talk about that trophy room store. We got new merch, BB. We got the House of Banger versus House of Slanger shirts up there in the merch store. It's ready for your purchasing pleasure. Go buy House of Slanger because that's
No.
the way to be.
Bad. Boo.
That's right. You cheered for it. You
No.
cheered for it.
I was gonna raise my hand to make sure we talk about the other thing that we were going to announce in the housekeeping.
Oh, please go for it, Kyle. Would you like to make the announcement?
I would love to. We're doing an extra special show run by the community. Marcus O'Neill and Drellish are going to be spearheading what we are calling By the Players, a community game show. Not like a game show you win money or prizes. Like it's similar to like Road to Greatness, where the community's going to get together, talk about a major game together. It'll be recorded and it'll be put on Patreon for like an added bonus, an added perk. The first game is going to start with Spider-Man 2. Will be the first one.
Oh, yeah.
We'll drop links of how to sign up for it and whatnot, but I'm very excited to have Marcus and Drellish spearhead this and get more people involved to talk about the thing we love the most, video games.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, we always want to do so much stuff with the community. That's been our big Patreon push as of late, is to bring more community members in with us, creating content with us. And when Marcus came over with the idea of like, hey, let's just make a, for lack of better words, like a book club, but for video games, and bring, folks in the community where, yeah, like once a month we get to just sit around, talk, shoot the shit, as it were. And then like for people that get to miss it, or whatever happens, it's there on Patreon the next day for you. So yeah, we're gonna be starting it off with Spider-Man 2, a little indie game, I know. And yeah, please DM Marcus and Drellish, join the Discord server if you want to learn more information on that show. And that said, a perfect segue into our Patreon pitch. Of course, the reason why we look so good, sound so great, is because of your generosity over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. I want to thank our newest members, and I know I've let this in for like a week, okay? But family dramas happened, so you get an extra shout out this week. On the house. Mitchell Gramlin at the Platinum tier, Liam Rust at the Platinum tier, John at the Bronze tier, and Black Mavericks at the Silver tier. I want to thank our premium producers, Todd Burowitz and Toxic. I want to thank our Platinum members, Jay Shea, Jedi Master Red, Cowboy Danger D, Jonas Young, The Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Millennium Falcon Gaming, Ryuko Kill 90, Stephen Flesh, Strubles and Bits, Bertos Maximos, Chris, Hybrid 748, Matt Valdez, Chris the Wizard, Solo, Liam Rush, Silk Cannon, Decimine, and Jadus Von Metal. I want to thank our gold members: Cypher Primus, Doss Simon the Pie Man, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hyde Doors, Katie, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, Marcus O'Neill, The Red Arrow, Aegis Hermit, Andrew Soar, Astronaut Jr., not to be mistaken with Astronaut Senior, The Winter Gamer, Robbie Bobby Miller, Brunton Zachary, Brunty Blob, Bubble Boy N7, Captain Logan, Final Fan XZ, Hambone, JD Dillinger, M9 Prime, Stone Cold, E.T., Tino 6-Speed, N. Johnson, Sean McKenzie, Rick Arrington, Spam and Bam, Matthew King, Duh Overlord, Dewane Raksha, Rick Davis, and Lord Commander Suddy. Thank you all so much for your patronage. Again, if you ever got you through a long car ride, a tough day at work, whatever your situation may be, it really does help us out if you throw a buck our way over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room.
Ooh, take a
Kyle,
breather.
listen, a couple of bumps in the road from last week when I
it's
had
fine.
COVID. It wasn't fluid. It wasn't perfect, but we got
It
there.
works.
All right, Kyle. It is time to square up the news.
I know Jake wasn't ready for that voice.
He wasn't ready. He wasn't prepared.
First
That's
bit
right.
of news that needs to be squared up, and hopefully for the very last time, we never hear this ever again. I'm so happy this is over. Microsoft completes Activision Blizzard acquisition, Call of Duty now part of Xbox. This comes from Tom Warren over at The Verge. And Tom writes, Microsoft has finalized its $68.7 billion deal to acquire Activision Blizzard. The acquisition required 20 months of battles with regulators in the UK and US, but Microsoft has closed its Activision Blizzard deal after defeating the Federal Trade Commission in a US federal court and restructuring the deal to appease the Competition and Markets Authority, or the CMA, in the UK. Quote, "We love gaming. We play games, create games, and know firsthand how much gaming means to all of us as individuals and collectively as a community. And today we officially welcome Activision Blizzard and their teams to Xbox," says Xbox chief Phil Spencer. "As one team, we'll learn, innovate, and continue to deliver on our promise to bring the joy and community of gaming to more people. We'll do this in a culture that strives to empower everyone to do their best work, where all people are welcome, and is centered on our ongoing commitment of gaming for everyone," end quote. The deal is Microsoft's largest acquisition ever, far in excess of the $26 billion Microsoft paid to acquire LinkedIn in 2016 and the $7.5 billion it paid to acquire Bethesda in 2021. This is Microsoft's biggest ever push into gaming too, and the company said at the original announcement of this mega deal that it will now be the, quote, third largest gaming company by revenue behind Tencent and Sony, end quote. Microsoft will now add more than 9 game studios from the Blizzard side alone to its Xbox Game Studios, alongside game studios in more than 11 locations for the Mobile Gaming King side of the acquisition. Microsoft has also transformed into a publishing powerhouse after the acquisition, with more than 8,500 Activision employees now joining Microsoft. Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick will remain in place to help with the transition until the end of 2023. Quote, "I have long said that I am fully committed to helping with the transition," says Kotick in an email to Activision Blizzard employees today. "Phil has asked me to stay on as CEO of ABK, reporting to him, and we have agreed that I will do that through the end of 2023. We both look forward to working together on a smooth integration for our teams and players," end quote. On Friday, Microsoft also reiterated that it is committed to the labor neutrality agreement it struck with the Communications Workers of America, the CWA, in June 2022. Quote, "Now more than 16 months later, as Microsoft has closed its transaction to acquire Activision Blizzard, we affirm our commitment to our labor principles and innovative approach to union partnerships," Microsoft's Brad Smith wrote in a blog post. "Microsoft remains steadfast in our support of our current and future employees in whatever choice they make about their workplace and their representatives," end quote. Workers at Blizzard's Albany, New York offices and Activision subsidiary Raven Software have unionized.
Ooh-wee. So, okay, a lot to go over there. A lot of words being said. And sometimes, Kyle, I put in some like big words just to let you struggle. Like Communication to Workers of America. I could have just did CWA.
It was the underline that threw me off, honestly.
All right, fair enough. Now, Phil Spencer did the rounds on, the future of Call of Duty, all that stuff. So he just reiterated points we've heard already, which is, and this comes from Okami Games, so shout out to him. Phil Spencer on the Activision Blizzard King plus Xbox deal confirms no ABK games for Game Pass until 2024. The goal is 100% parity on COD, which means no more exclusive skins, DLC, or betas, and wants to make sure any old IP that they revisit has a passionate team that wants to make a difference, not just a financial gain. All this is well and good. Great. We can finally put the past behind us. The deal is done. Kyle, I go to you first. Actually, I'll do Matthew Kennedy's question because it was very similar to mine. He writes in, just like you can over on our Discord server, link down below, or you could add us at PS Trophy Room on Twitter, or rapper formerly known as Twitter. It's X now. We gotta get past it. We know it's a dumb name. It's bad. Matthew Kennedy writes in, "Hey guys, quick question for the show. With ABK in the books, in your honest opinion, think that Sony is under a huge amount of pressure to make a major PlayStation Studios acquisition?" Let's get that talk right out of the way, Kyle. You're Sony now. What comes next? The deal is done. It's a scary or uncertain future for you in terms of, at the end of everything, once they, find a way to assimilate Activision fully into the Xbox, company, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. One would say it's maybe even a leveled playing field. So I go to you, Kyle. What can Sony do in the meantime as they're getting acclimated there, or maybe what they've been doing?
First off, it's still twitter.com URL, so I'm still calling it Twitter. Second,
I'm not gonna die on the X.
I thought you were. That's why I had to bring it up.
Yeah.
I think PlayStation's first and foremost issue is they need to find a president. I think they can't even think about acquisitions of multiple studios or quote unquote publishing arms or whatever until they get a president in place. And I want that president to I want that vision, right, of where they're going, and not buy something and then the president a year later be like, you know what, this wasn't good. Let's just cut and run. Like, I kind of think that should be, not that they would do that, but that should be their focus, is getting a figurehead in place, have them put their, it sounds gross, the DNA on what PlayStation Studios is doing.
No. Whatever we do, not DNA, Kyle. Let's not do DNA now.
But, like, that should be their priority. I don't think they should, like, quick snap judgment buy something just to buy it as, like, a retaliation kind of thing.
Yeah. I think first, yeah, you're right. I think, well, actually, one thing I'd want to get at with you here is, do you think right now, as you're looking at it, Bungie, that acquisition, maybe we haven't seen it come to fruition yet, but it kind of sounds like that's what you're thinking at the moment. Like, maybe that Bungie acquisition was, for lack of better words, a mistake.
Oh, I don't think it was a mistake.
Okay, all right. That's that's the vibes I was getting.
Oh, from what I just said?
Yeah.
No. I just want the president to, like, be in place before they buy stuff.
Sure.
I'm not saying Bungie
CEO,
was a
by the
mistake.
way, right?
That's what I meant.
That's
what I meant. I thought Jim Ryan was the president.
President, CEO, all that jazz.
Yeah, I just rather have someone in place before they go off and buy things. And when they do buy things, I'd rather them, because it's going to happen, I'd rather them buy the smaller things. Like Ember Lab should be number one on the list in my eyes.
All right, Jake, I throw the ball over to you, good sir. All this acquisition talk, all this consolidation talk. I want to know where you stand on it all, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a thing. So, like, historically, across all industries, not just in video games, massive mergers don't usually pay off. Consolidation is often a negative. Now, in a lot of these situations, these mergers don't pay off because the bidders overpay. But in a lot of these situations, the bidders are not people like Microsoft, who, you know, I think we're kind of all aware of the amount of cachet and amount of money that they have, especially in this space. So it is a little bit of a different situation. But, you know, I because of this situation, I've done a lot of independent reading about mergers and acquisitions and things like that. And I think I was really drawn to I read something out of like the Harvard Business Review. And it was talking about how, on average, they found that mergers do not have a discernible effect on productivity or efficiency. And I think that we talk about these mergers, and I see it across every industry. It is simply a symptom of capitalism and the system that we are in right now, because you see where it's like, okay, we need to report endless expansion, endless profits year after year, over and over again. And eventually you saturate a market and you can't get any more people. So what do? You do like what the streaming services are doing right now. They either acquire more things, or they take the user base that they have and they charge them more money, because they have to keep, for the same product, or a lot of the times less, because they have to keep reporting more and more and more and more.
It's what we talked about with PlayStation Plus, right? They saw that, hey, our ceiling's about 47 to 50 million users. So how do we charge them more, like they did when they upped the price in September? And how do we make this product more attractive for those to upgrade to the extra or the premium tier, right? Like that's kind of where you see them go. Or you see companies that go, okay, so, you know, for example, just throwing it out there, they try to go out there and they enter a different market to see what they can do there. That's why, like, you see a whole bunch of these tech companies, they have their tentacles in what seemingly is everything, right? Is that what you're kind of getting at?
Yeah, I mean, I just think like the question for me is when do you look back and say, wow, that Xbox acquisition of Activision Blizzard was a huge success. When does that happen? And because I was looking at the messaging that they were putting out, and they put out like that trailer that was like, here's all of the properties that are under the Xbox banner right now, and that was one of the most like psychotic pieces of PR I've seen in my life. If I'm being totally honest, because the fact of the matter is, for the end user, these are like, we're just talking about games that exist, that were always going to exist, existing, but now there's like different logos attached. I don't know. So there's a degree to which the only reason I'm going a little bit over the top, but I think what I'm trying to illustrate is that I feel that there is a little bit of this campaign of like, gamers should be excited about this, and I'm no, sir. This is have either of you heard about this? It's like a big essay that was getting passed around a lot this year. The enshittification of services.
No, but I wish I did.
That's a great title.
That's a great title. I would sign up for that service. Are you kidding me?
An incredible piece. The author's name escapes me, but the idea is that there is this pattern that services go through, particularly in like the online space, where you see like, okay, first they need to get all of their users, so they need to be good to their users, and then they need to, turn these people into customers, so they go to these people, and then it's like, okay, now we turn on our users, and now we're going after the sponsors, and we're going at, because we have all of the users, so now we do on this, and it's how these platforms kind of collapse in on themselves. And right now, I feel like we're in stage one. I feel like this is Netflix when they promised you all you have to do is pay this tiny fee and you'll have limitless entertainment. And then years down the line, they're going to go, okay, so actually that's not true. And we're changing the rules and we're charging you more. I just feel like we're in stage one, and I like don't want to cheerlead these billion-dollar deals happening where these executives are making out with golden parachutes and none of it is trickling down to the people that actually make the products. And that drives me insane every time I think
this
about
man
it.
a podium. I want to vote for this. I
don't
know what you're running for, but I'm in it. I'm in on this.
On that note, the fact that Bobby Kotick is not immediately ejected out of his seat infuriates me.
I mean,
and then he gets 1 month so that now he can sell his shares and he will exit with like $400 million. And like so many people that actually make the games, the people that do the labor that provides the value, they don't have options like this. And it kind of drives me crazy that like we talk about, oh, well, Xbox buying Activision is actually going to be good for like their controversial situation with their bad CEO and the toxic work environment. I'm like, read a little bit about Microsoft, people, because my headline for all of this is that the reason Sony has been able to find success in a way that Microsoft has not is because that they invest in the people that are actually making the games and rely less on contract workers. There was years ago now, there was a huge court case in California that basically came to a head, and rules were changed about how you could treat contract workers because of how Microsoft was treating them. And I'm sure you've heard the expression like permatemp before.
Yep.
And and it's this idea that you hire a contract worker and then you don't give them any work for 6 months. And then you hire them again for contract work, because if you were to keep hiring them consistently, there are laws that say you can't do that. You have to hire them full time. So there's this constant shifting in and out, and you see this with like the studio that makes the Halo games. Like they're super.
3 right now is going through it big time over there, right? Like one of their issues is that they have so many contract workers that you're right. Yeah, there's just a constant flow of people, and you're dead on.
And then you look at Insomniac, who has an incredible work environment by all regards. People are allowed to work from home wherever they are in the country. And like, these are people that have been in the industry for like the better part of 20, 30 years now. And that matters. That's how you get institutional knowledge that layers on top of each other, and these games get better and better and better.
So Jake, there's something that tells me you're not a big fan of this deal.
Listen, it's not that I'm not a big fan of this deal. It's that I see this happening everywhere, and I say the same thing every time. And I do think there are times where acquisitions can make sense. This is kind of silly, and I don't really subscribe to a lot of what he says, but Reggie Fils-Aimé made a point about acquisitions once where, in theory, you get these people to You acquire a video game company, and then maybe the heads of that company, they get a bunch of money out of this deal. They leave and they go off and they form a new studio.
Yeah.
And that's how you kind of create new, like I kind of think that's like a bogus theory, to be honest with you, but it's nice in concept. And I think it would be cool to see more stuff like that. But the way that these deals are arranged and who ultimately benefits from them, it's just not set up that way right now. And that's disappointing because you know, we read about crunch, we read about layoffs. These are the people doing the work that matters. And I'm just interested in protecting them.
Yeah, and
1,000%. Could not have said it better
1,000%.
myself, and I never will say it better myself.
I know, same. I'm goddamn, I want to vote for this man. I don't know for what, but we'll find out. Chairman, I don't know.
Comptroller, I think that's a thing.
I didn't even know this was a topic for this show, and I was like, oh god, they're gonna get the whole.
No, I love it.
No,
Bring it on.
I'll dip my toe into this you know, rabbit hole.
I think that is a very interesting thing you brought up, where like when will this merger be seen as like a win? Like on the PlayStation side of things, I think we can all easily say, because we're going to talk about it later, the Insomniac purchase is a gigantic win, because they're single-handedly holding up the PS5 when it comes to first-party studios.
I mean, well, look at all the memes, right?
I mean, there's 4 Insomniac games on PS5 if you include the remaster. Like in 3 years of a console lifecycle already.
4 bangers.
Exactly. Yes. Like and to nab that down, I think, not saying it's 1-to-1, but when are people going to be like, you know what, that this merger is going to have the same effect that Insomniac has?
Yep.
So for me, if I'm like I don't know, if I was like one of those execs, I think I think Jeff Grubb kind of said it a few months back. So the one thing I keep constantly pull back to is they're probably thinking in about 5 years we're supposed to start to see something out of this, right? Jake, I'm kind of right there with you. I think when we take a look at like these mega mergers, how many of them have truly been beneficial to us in the long term? Like, for example, let's take a look at like Disney and Fox, right? That deal that's gone through. Have we kind of really seen the fruits of that acquisition pay off?
No, I would say we've seen exactly Disney's influence on that acquisition.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a positive influence. I'd say it's an influence. But yeah,
I forgot you're a writer, so you're like,
I know the influence all too well. Yeah.
So like for me, I take a look at it going, I'm skeptical. I'm cautiously optimistic. And to speak to what you were saying earlier about like, yeah, the weird PR beat where even like I saw like some Xbox dudes go, yeah, this is a bit cringe. This is a little bit much. It's like, we get it, you guys have been through it, but like even this is much. I try to tend to look at the positive of things going, okay, if this does truly say what they want it to do and this levels the playing field, again, it comes back to what my line of thinking is. How does PlayStation go back and they kind of analyze it, and what do they do to kind of prepare for the onslaught, which is more of these companies are going to come in here. How do I better ready the storm and be most prepared for that day to happen? And it just comes in where we've always talked about, which is what PlayStation has done is partner up with AA studios, partner up with AAA publishers, get that, for lack of better terms, like get that Star Wars Jedi Survivor on, type of advertising when it comes to third party, right? Get that Kena Bridge of Spirits type of indie. Look at Returnal. That was a AA studio turned AAA and then acquired. That's the type of acquisitions I would like to see from Sony. But to me, it's like, you don't have to really do anything. You could just keep doing what you're doing. This is the Sony that I like. This is the company that I like. So I'm just going to keep on, I'm just going to keep on purchasing what you got to offer. So for me, in my honest opinion, what do you think? Is Sony under a huge amount of pressure to make a major acquisition? I bet they're pressured to make an acquisition, but it's not going to be the likes of an EA or a 2K or even an Ubisoft. I would really rather them bolster their studios that they have with partnerships with developers that they've long had partnerships with that make sense. So that's what I would kind of want out of the whole grand scheme of things, Sony to do, you know? Ghetto Barry writes, "Hey guys, hope everyone is well. With the ABK takeover, I know, Microsoft was reported earlier in the year to be laying off 10,000 staff. For lack of a better word, indulged in laying off their staff. If they can't afford to keep the staff, then technically they shouldn't be able to afford this huge buyout. It's all company greed." I mean, Jake, I'm not going to tap you in here.
Can't afford is such a funny way of putting that.
Yeah.
But here's a scoop for you. I'll give you a future scoop. So this is a lot of people don't think about this. I was looking at a lot of articles covering this deal, and nobody really brought this up. But with an acquisition of this size, we are going to get a news story in the coming months that is going to be there are an obscene amount of layoffs are going to have to happen because of redundancies.
Yeah.
That's just period. There is no way that Microsoft and Activision they're just going to retain all of those staff.
I feel like
they don't have people. Yeah,
and I feel like often people and that's going to happen. It's going to be a bummer, but anyway, and it's like, but that's not the anyway though. Like that genuinely sucks. Those are people's livelihoods.
Like those people that have such a nonchalant attitude towards it have never gone through it themselves. Yeah. As someone who's recently been laid off earlier this year, devastating. And the following 7 months of nothing and scratching and clawing to get something is like some of the most depressing stuff I've gone through or people go through, because you are comparing yourself with other people with the same situation. It's like a never-ending awful cycle, and it's awful.
I mean, I would add that it's bad for the product too. I think you lose
for sure.
You lose people with institutional knowledge that learn from each other, and like people are wasted in positions all the time. And again, you end up replacing full-time staff with temporary workers because you don't have to pay so much more overhead on those people. And we keep talking about this about like when. Just to frame it this way, when will this be seen as a success? And I gotta tell you guys, I think even if they put out some banger game that's the result of one of these acquisitions, that's from one of these companies, I don't necessarily think that in the eyes of like your gaming connoisseur, they see that as an Xbox, like a Microsoft Xbox title, in the way that a Sony PlayStation Studios title is of them. I think I think in our minds we still see Bethesda, Activision, those things, and we know that it's just some executive at the top of the food chain changed.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm gonna vote for this guy. I don't know what he's.
I'll take it. Future class.
All right, I'm gonna vote for you, future class. That having said, we haven't even gotten to Ghetto Barry's question. That having said, how or what could Sony PlayStation do as a whole to benefit from this takeover? As always, take care, guys, and continue the excellent work that you do. All right, it's kind of what Jake said a while back. Is like what you see from these acquisitions is you see the senior management go off and leave and go ahead and make their studios, make their things. It's kind of, for lack of better terms, what we've seen out of like Deviation, right? Those are ex-Call of Duty guys. They left, they formed this company. Same with like Haven, actually, better example, right? So, if I'm PlayStation, I would like to give some of those people some golden parachutes and some opportunities to work with us. What does that mean? We're going to go form a new studio? No, I think, again, the Sony approach probably apt here. You go make an XDev team, or they make a team, you partner with them via XDev, and you see the fruits of their labor. You see how you communicate with them, how you guys work with each other. And then from there, you see if that relationship fits, if it is a good fit, if that game's a success, and then you measure it that way. That's what you do. Right, Kyle?
Sure. in a jokey way, I could see it could be like similar to the PlayStation 4 E3 show after the Xbox One presentation, where they Xbox went first, the whole TV forward thing, the Kinect and everything, and then we got the bombs of like Sony, this is how you share games and all this other thing. Like maybe Sony will take notes of this and do the same thing of like, this is what not to do in a major acquisition kind of thing.
I don't think they have to do anything.
I mean, also fair, right? Jake.
I truly, I gotta tell you, even just from like a competitive standpoint, I'm just not seeing Xbox on their radar at this point in time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I almost feel like they're starting to, and I think this is maybe the more interesting path, diverge into slightly different spaces in the industry. And I wonder if as we continue going on, as Microsoft invests more into like the streaming side of things, if we they picked up that mobile company in this deal too. I wonder if there is a little bit of like a Microsoft just kind of like is one of those companies that has a lot of different revenue streams, and eventually the gaming will start picking up profits for them in a way that it hasn't for the past however many years.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
and that's fine. A lot of stuff functions like that, you know?
Yeah. And for example, what is it? Xbox works as 6% of Microsoft's total revenue. So yeah, no, that definitely checks out.
And then if you look at
Sony,
like what PlayStation is for Sony, it's like PlayStation's like the only thing bringing home bacon, you know?
Exactly.
What I mean?
It's like half of their profit. So when you take a look at like what can Sony do, what can PlayStation do, you're right, kind of diversify, kind of what we were talking about earlier of like, hey, we also have this production company that we kind of sort of have, right? Like, let's go out there and let's make some TV shows, some movies, some whatever we can off these IP because they're incredibly popular. And maybe if we treat them with a monochrome of respect, those stories could live on in other medium. That's probably where Sony kind of goes to. But I don't really think when we talk about like, oh my God, what's next for Sony? It's like we're cheering on like just like two boxers for no reason. It's like we just want to see them fight each other with like buckets of cash. It's like I just would rather see them fight over making games that are really awesome. For example, like I love Starfield. Starfield's my game of the year so far. That game was delayed until it was polished and put out in a better state than what we normally think of Bethesda titles. And that game's really special because of it. It's a lot better game because of it. I want to see IP like that make its way here so that we could cheer for it. Because, yeah, at the end of the day, all it is like Call of Duty, the devs have a different name on their checks. That's it. Like, to me, at the end of the day, it's the games that they create that truly matter. And that's what the only thing I hope out of this deal is that we start seeing IP that we are passionate about, or those teams are passionate about. Like, to me, I think the biggest question here, Jake, when you raise like most of these acquisitions, they don't go the way you think. Again, like Disney with Fox. I want to see what Microsoft, what Xbox, what Phil Spencer can do, when they have the body out in front of them, the autopsy of seeing how does Call of Duty work and how do we take teams from, Toys for Bob out? How do we take teams from Vicarious Visions out? And how do we put those people, how do we, replace those people with other, folks, with other great minds, and have those people out there creating your Tony Hawks, your new Spyro game or what have you? Because it's not simply, all right, starting this Friday, Toys for Bob ain't gonna make Call of Duty no more. They're back to Crash. It don't work like that. So to me, that's the most interesting thing, is seeing how and if they are capable of kind of performing that surgery. And for Sony, the easiest thing for them to do is just keep on making the great games. I think they're both on a pretty good track. And luckily, we have some good leadership on hopefully both sides. I know Jim Ryan's leaving, so hopefully, whoever comes in place, truly thinks of the player first, and we get some awesome content out of it. All right, that was my TED Talk. That was my rant. Now it's time, Kyle, for the fun stuff. Ooh-wee. It's behind us, guys. Activision, Blizzard, it's over. Ooh.
But you know what's just beginning?
What's
Sarmina
that,
Khan over at PS Lifestyle. Support for PlayStation trophies on PC seemingly in the works. It looks like Sony has begun testing support for PlayStation trophies on PC as part of its efforts to fully integrate the PlayStation Network with its PC gamers. PSN integration was previously added via a patch for Marvel Spider-Man Remastered Steam version. Folks over at True Trophies, a website that pulls trophy data directly from the PSN backend, came across a trophy list that lists PSPC as one of the platforms other than the PS5. True Trophies was able to confirm that this list was separate from PS5 trophies, and what's more is that it wasn't attached to any particular game, hinting at a test of some kind. If True Trophies' hypothesis is correct, Sony seems to be one step closer to fully integrating PSN with PC games. We know the company has been working on this since the aforementioned update for Spider-Man's PC version last October. Sony has made no secret of its desire to expand its PC portfolio as the games industry becomes increasingly competitive and AAA budgets continue to balloon, mandating expanded revenue streams. Going forward, Sony's first-party and third-party PlayStation console exclusive multiplayer games will be released on PC day and date.
Ooh-wee. Bertos Maximus writes in just like you can too over on our Discord server. He writes, "Afternoon, gentlemen. My question this week is around the PC trophies talk. I, for one, would welcome trophies to the PC because at heart, I am a trophy hunter and I enjoy when it pops bling. You just get a sense of pride and accomplishment. My question is, do you think this will be primarily for Steam games, or do you think stuff like the Epic Launcher and Rockstar Launcher will incorporate it? Would it affect what you play on PS5 and what you play on PC? As always, guys, have a great week. Thank you for the brilliant content. Keep safe and keep on hunting. P.S. House of Slinger, God bless your heart, for the win. You just can't stop. You can't support. Sorry, you can't stop supporting the House of Slinger, Kyle. Sorry, bro.
I most definitely can. I can pull the shirt off the store. What are you talking about?
See, this is the crooked
I
games
would.
Kyle plays.
I would never. But I have the power.
Kyle, listen, you become a PC snob as of late, okay?
I have?
Yep, you have. I don't know. I like to just make random accusations.
Jeez.
So I
I
bring
literally,
this question to you.
Joe, for 6-1 Indie, we were streaming Next Fest demos. And it was my turn to stream. I plugged in my DualShock, DualSense with the USB in the last remaining USB port of my computer.
Yeah.
Everything broke.
God bless.
My mouse stopped being recognized. My keyboard, the controller wasn't connecting,
and you loved it.
My microphone just stopped being recognized.
Well, okay. Well, then here's the question: as a PC gamer with your PC problems, would this tempt you to? Would this sway you?
Absolutely not.
Wait, can we clear this up really quick?
Yeah.
I feel like maybe there's a misunderstanding in the question. So my understanding is that PlayStation titles on PC are only on Steam.
They're also on the Epic Games Store.
Really?
Some are.
No. You can get like
Yes,
Spider-Man, the first one, on Epic Games Store?
I don't know about Spidey. I think Death Stranding is on there.
There you go.
Wow.
Oh, and that's because of the 505 deal. There you go, that's why. Yeah.
All right.
So I got a question for you, Jake. I'll shoot it over to you. Do you partake in the PC gaming?
Okay, I think this makes sense. I think this is probably happening.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
My understanding of the PlayStation on PC thing that's been going on is that maybe in a way that surprised them, it has been an unequivocal success. I think as you see these consoles kind of become more and more PC-like in their architecture, it just kind of makes sense to spend whatever resources you need to spend. It's probably not that much to get these games over on PC and turn a quick dime, charging full price for them. You get people to double dip. You get people that maybe don't have PlayStation consoles, whatever.
Plus, PlayStation has Nixes now, and they specialize in those ports as well. So it's kind of easy.
Good at it.
They're very good at it. Yeah.
And I think we've kind of seen this like timed turnaround for a lot of big PlayStation games coming to PC. So I gotta hats off to Zarmina Khan in this article that you quoted, because I really liked that kind of the end of that quote that you read, where it's like the increasingly competitive AAA budgets continue to balloon, mandating expanded revenue streams. Like I was like, yeah, no, that's it, nailed it. And I think as far as something like that goes, I find this to be pretty inoffensive. And I think if anything, it's even kind of cool that these games are on PC, especially if I've got one of these puppies.
Let me see. Yes,
And
your Steam boy, Tech Boy as well.
Yeah, and that like adds a whole new layer to this whole thing. So yeah, I mean, I think it totally makes sense. I can see like the way that you like when you go look at your trophies, it can say like PS3, PS4, Vita, PlayStation 5. Like why not have one that you sync up to your PlayStation network and it says PC too? That sounds great.
Question, Jake, are you a trophy hunter? You like your trophies?
I do, but I don't go out of my way.
Okay.
For me, it's like if I love a game, if I love her tender and I love her kind, then I will go out. I will get every trophy.
Hell yeah.
I will.
Fair.
Yeah. That's like how you know. You go down my list of platinums and it's like, oh, Jake really liked Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl and Marvel's Avengers. It's like,
hell
it's like, all right, sure, Jake. It's like,
That's literally the same way. If I really dig your game, I'm going to go and try to platinum it. If I really love your game, I'm going to go and platinum it. Yeah. But I'm not going to make it my personality to platinum it. So like, for example, Resident Evil 4 Remake, an amazing game. No way am I getting that platinum. I can't do time trials. It's like, go beat it in under like 6 hours. Can't do it. Too stressful. Not me. But for a game like Elden Ring, greatest game ever made, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to platinum it all the times I can. I've platinumed that game twice last year because I really, really love Elden Ring. So like, I'll go out of my way if it's, again, a game like Elden Ring. Perfect. But Kyle, I'll shoot this over to you.
Mm-hmm. Is this where you're gonna talk smack about my trophies?
No.
No. Are you sure? Because you always do. So I figured.
Honestly, I was thinking about it.
Yeah, I could tell.
We actually got a question in the chat that I'd like to address really quick. So Carlene Hyatt wants to know, Steam has achievements, so I don't know how trophies could be incorporated. I feel like that actually makes it so much easier because you can sync your PlayStation Network account to your Steam account.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know that Marvel Spider-Man on Steam has achievements. I'm guessing they're the same at the trophies. I feel like that's actually a pretty easy handshake. For one service to tell the other one, and then they pop on your PlayStation console.
And if it's not, it's strange.
Yeah. And I feel like there's other ways you could do it where like in these ports, like maybe there's a thing that connects inside of them. But I don't know. I to me technologically it seems sound.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I definitely see like Ubisoft Connect, right? Like I'm seeing that integrated with Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm earning or Ubisoft points for every like trophy that I pop. I could kind of see that here where it's like you're making a PlayStation Network account. Sadly, it's tied in with your game. There's no escaping it, and you're making your own, user profile again. So if you're a PC gamer, it might just annoy the living hell out of you because how much you hate launchers. But I could definitely see PlayStation working on a new launcher. B, something that is tied with every game on Steam so that you are interconnected with the PlayStation ecosystem. And maybe somehow, some way it gets you hooked into the PlayStation ecosystem. Ooh. If you're a big fan like us of like The Last of Us Part 1 and you're like, I want to platinum that game again, well, all of a sudden you have the opportunity to. So that's kind of where I see
what's going to be the biggest boon for my trophies, by the way?
What's that?
This November, the PlayStation Portal.
Hell yeah, dude.
Right?
Oh my God. Literally, dude, I'm such a sicko that there's some games that I'm like, I would get this on Nintendo Switch, but I want the trophies.
So,
and now
I'm in the reverse, Jake. If there's a play, for example, I should have gotten Sea of Stars on Switch, but it's on PlayStation and there's trophies there. So I got it there.
Yeah,
and being on PlayStation Plus helped for sure. But it's like, I'm of the reverse. I'm sorry, Kyle.
I was just gonna say, like, for me, trophies are such an additive thing. And for growing up playing games when I was younger, where it was all about getting the high score, trophies are just an interchangeable thing in my brain. Where it's the same dopamine rush of trying to get the highest score possible, but this time they're little, meaningless trophies that you can proudly boast about. You did all these really cool things in the game and you got a trophy. Or for me, I'm a big fan of just any plats, Jake. It doesn't matter if they're cheap or not. I'll get them. Like I have 324.
Which ones of those are real? Which one of those are real?
A good chunk. I would say a good 100 are like actual.
What's your proudest platinum trophy?
Oh my God, Fall Guys is. I'm pretty proud of Fall Guys.
Cool.
Final Fantasy VII Remake, because that hard mode was really tough. I platinum Bloodborne Behind Joe's Back.
Oh my God, it's beautiful. It was a beautiful.
That's pretty
moment.
cool.
Yeah.
Hades is great.
Oh, big fan.
Celeste is awesome. Like,
I was just talking about Celeste today.
Celeste is one of my favorite games of all time, Jake.
I'm right there with you. Right there with you.
So, like, I will get the hard ones, but I will also, like, we won't have time to talk about it later, but yeah, I just bought, like, 6 games, total of 90-something cents because of the PlayStation sale. And, like, 4 of them had plats. Like, yeah, I'll just kind of zone out. It's like, trash TV. Like you just watch trash TV. It's just me. I'm playing like meaningless games that mean nothing. Just as pass the time.
It's kind of like
trophies.
with like Assassin's Creed Mirage wasn't my favorite game of the series, but that trophy list is attainable, and I have nothing else to play for the next 24 hours. Why the heck not? And get that out there.
But like if in the future, if I do have a Steam Deck and these PC trophies work with that and all the games, I will happily go plat Last of Us again.
Oh,
like hands down, like to me that is an added bonus, which is another reason why I don't pick up my Switch that often, because I like knowing that I have progress in some sort of meaningless achievement system.
Same. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That said, the Muffin Mountain writes in with the rumor of the PC trophies may be on the way. Do you think PlayStation finally improves their PC PlayStation Plus app? It's currently streaming only, and you have to use a DualShock 4 or a DualSense. Like the good Lord intended, Muffin Man. Do you think they will ever add native downloads for these games that have a PC version? Do they ever let you use other controllers so I could play on my ROG Ally? It's all I want. Too bad.
No and no.
That DualSense. Yeah.
The answers are no. On the first one, would they just like let you download the PC version? No. I think in PlayStation's eyes, they kind of like see a PlayStation 5 version of a game and a PC version of the game as not the same game. It's like, this is XYZ for PC. This is a experience, and this is a different experience over here. And then on the question of the controllers, I think no, and I also support this one.
Yes,
which might sound crazy, but I actually think one of my favorite things about like the DualSense and some of these more modern experiences is that whenever I feel that there is author's intention or just intention from the video game developers that they were like, this is the way I envisioned this thing being experienced. I want that. And I don't know. I think if you're trying to like use your Xbox controller or whatever to play these PlayStation games, then you're not going to get like the triggers and stuff and how it was made to be, and even with like stupid things like button prompts and stuff, it's just like, I don't know. I'm trying to be on the ride that they put me on.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Except when dodge isn't the circle button, then we have issues.
I understand.
All right, Kyle, next little story on the list, sir. Sure. I want to get to Spider-Man.
Oh, absolutely. This comes from Dalton Cooper over at Game Rant. The Game Awards 2023 date revealed. The Game Awards 2023 will take place on Thursday, December 7th in Los Angeles, California at the Peacock Theater. Since its beginning in 2014, the Game Awards has become a massive annual event for the gaming industry. Not only does the Game Awards pay tribute to the biggest new game releases of the past year, but it is also home to big reveals and shock announcements from some of the industry's biggest players.
Kyle, make your pitch.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Future Class. Me. Hi, Kyle. I'd love to be a part of it. The work I do here, celebrating all games, fostering an amazing community, as well as 6-1 Indie, where we highlight indie games and we put on our own E3 level press conferences where we show off dope indie games and just celebrate the people that make them, because that is the most important thing, and just celebrate the hobby we love. I'd be honored to be included alongside Jake.
Okay. Jake, you've pitched yourself twice. I would like to do my pitch.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
It's all rigged. So, guys, question for you.
I got the form open, Kyle. The second we're done here, you're getting
Hell
hammered,
yeah.
baby.
Hell
You're
yeah.
getting the
Happening.
noms.
Hell yeah.
So, guys, I wanna know. Okay,
Mhm.
I need to know your predictions for the Game Awards. All right.
All of them?
I want to know.
Everyone?
No. Let's
Okay.
let's relax. You're not. Jake's having a meltdown. Don't worry, Jake. It's not that serious. Don't worry. I want to know what you think. What games are going to be the Game of the Year nominees?
Oh, okay.
I
yeah.
can do
I'm not
that.
like every. Come on. I'm not a psychopath.
Well, but my one prediction was the Game Awards orchestra. That bit this year is going to be incredible.
Okay.
There's been so much good music this year in games.
Yeah.
That like Game of the Year kind of medley they always do. Oh my god, it's gonna be so
Chef's
good.
kiss. Chef's kiss.
Okay, so typically I believe there are 6 nominees
There are.
for Game of the Year. Okay, so here they are. You ready? Buckle up.
All right. Ready.
The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom,
Of course.
Baldur's Gate 3,
Absolutely.
Marvel Spider-Man 2,
Okay.
Street Fighter 6,
Ooh, getting crazy. Okay.
Sea of Stars,
I like to see that.
and
Speak with your heart, Jake.
I
Speak
know,
with your
I know.
heart.
I started to doubt my heart for a second there. I started to doubt my heart.
Go full. Go full
Resident
bore.
Evil 4 remake. Resident Evil 4
Hell
remake.
yeah, that's a good
God
one.
bless. Kyle.
Those are- yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, let's do it.
6. Sea of Stars.
1,
Final Fantasy 16.
2,
Baldur's Gate 3.
of course.
Legend of Zelda.
Yep, because you got to get one in there.
Man, I do think RE4 is in there.
Okay.
My God.
That's right. You're
No,
up 5.
I know.
Okay.
I will. Oh God. No, I will take Final Fantasy out. I will put Spider-Man in that place, and then
Wow.
Starfield.
I mean, that would be 7. So.
No, that'd be 6 if I take
No, yeah,
Final
that's
Fantasy
6.
out.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, it's okay. Then I
that was the issue.
a big
Like,
idiot.
Starfield and Spider-Man should probably.
So
will
so
both-
we have the same list, but you swapped Street Fighter 6 for Starfield.
pretty much. I mean, there's definitely more. I would love to include another indie, just because the
Yeah.
token indie every year is kind of like
I know, but that's you.
that's the formula. I get it.
Yeah.
It sucks.
and I hate that formula. It's stupid. So, like, to me, I actually think my list is the same, but you just swap out Starfield with Final Fantasy 16.
So
So
even though
that-
Starfield's like your game of the
Yeah,
year,
I'm taking my feelings out of it. So I think Resident Evil 4 remake is incredible. It's the best remake
Mhm.
ever made.
Mhm.
I take a look at Tears of the Kingdom, and Tears of the Kingdom is a stellar game, a great sequel to an amazing game. So that's there, and it's the Nintendo bump. Then we have Spider-Man. I have faith. All right, we have yet to talk, Jake, but I'm pretty sure it'll be there. We have Baldur's Gate. Then we have Final Fantasy 16. And what else am I missing here? Oh yeah, and Sea of Stars. I think you're gonna have that one indie there, and I think it's either Sea of Stars or Cocoon. And I think Sea of Stars had a bigger moment, so that's why I think Sea of Stars lands it. But
If you would have asked me yesterday, by the way, I would
Yeah.
have told you Mario Wonder was on this list for sure.
Mm.
But then just reading the reviews today, I'm like, I don't think it's there. I don't think the magic's
you
there.
don't think it's there?
I just reading the reviews today, I feel like it's just shy of the mountaintop.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
do we ever think that Jeff will expand past 6?
I honest to God, it might be this year.
I hope so.
You think?
I
The
do- well-
most historically like a most amazing video game year ever. I feel like
So like Armored Core 6
yeah.
or Armored Alan Wake 2's out here.
Mm-hmm.
Yo.
I not for me, but I know a lot of people like Diablo 4.
Indie side of things.
Right. Oh my
Cocoon,
god, how could I ignore Diablo 4? love that
Cocoon,
game.
Dredge had a very big moment.
People like Dave the Diver,
Yep.
Yeah.
not an indie game.
Yeah.
So we're all on the same page. Not an indie game. Just, yeah.
Why is it not an indie game?
It's not.
Why?
Why?
It's funded by Nexon, I believe.
Oh,
Okay.
So,
okay.
you
Okay.
guys didn't read about this? There was a whole thing how it was
No.
like pretending to be an indie game. And then,
Ah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look
Like
at that.
I think Liza P has an outside shot.
Oh my God! I actually I hear you. That's a critical darling. People would
Yeah,
vote for
yeah,
that.
yeah.
All right, guys. It's time for some flash news. Kind of fast. Gotta talk about Spider-Man. And this Flash news is all about Spider-Man. All right. Marvel Spider-Man 2 branded Wheaties is a true breakfast of champions. Question asked to you guys, why Wheaties?
I don't know.
Can I tell you something funny? Earlier this year, the Super Mario Brothers movie came out this year, of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And my friend works for a sauce company called Truff. Okay, it's like a truffle hot sauce.
Okay.
Alright.
And she pitched Nintendo on doing a collab for the Super Mario Brothers movie, and it got approved. And I did like a video for Game Explain, like reviewing. Like she gave me the exclusive, and I reviewed the sauce. And great video. I did it with my fiance. Check it out if you're curious.
Yeah, please.
I've got the box over there. But yeah, it just made me realize, like, sometimes somebody just gets in the room and it's a bunch of people who have jobs, and you just are supposed to say yes to a certain number of things. Like you have a budget. You got to spend it. So like somebody from Wheaties got in there and they said, give me Spider-Man. And they were like, yeah, all right.
I mean, a few months ago on the show, Joe was out for some reason. We talked about PlayStation branded noodles, I think overseas in the UK.
Right.
Like, yeah, it just happens sometimes.
Just people doing their jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, there's also Spidey Adidas sneakers. I think
that makes sense, and those are nice looking.
Yeah, they're cool.
I mean, here's what breakfast treat would you have instead of Wheaties?
Bring back they were tied to the movie back in the day. Give me the Spider-Man Pop-Tarts.
Actually, I have the Super Mario cereal, still in the box.
That's Spider-Man Pop-Tart. You just like activated a cool
right?
memory. I can't believe what just happened. I just had like an actual Spidey sense moment. My head was ringing.
Unless this is a Mandela effect and I'm mixing this up with the Pikachu
I didn't know what the
ones.
next words were going to be out of your mouth, and then you said Pop-Tart, and I was like...
All the lights rushing by.
Yeah, that was crazy. Oh my god. Yeah.
All of a sudden, Jake, you're 6, sitting in the kitchen table. Yeah.
For real. Well, we're talking about cereal, and it's like, I don't really eat cereal anymore because it's too much sugar. And then he said Pop-Tarts, and I literally was like, no, I take it all back. Give me the Pop-Tart right now. Give me the Pop.
I would do anything. First off, Lucky Charms would be dope. All right.
The Rogues Gallery at Marshmallows? That's
Rogues Gallery with marshmallows.
That's pretty good.
But I am also an old man, Jake. Cereal's too sugary for me. And those marshmallows, quote unquote.
Sure.
They kind of give me the ick when I eat them sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, give me this weird crunch, and I'm like, oh, this is chalk. Oh, this is chalk. But then I get the sugar, and I'm like, delicious chalk, but still chalk. So I would also want Spider-Man Reese's Puffs, because that was my favorite cereal back in the day. They're like, hey, remember the candy bar Reese's? Yeah, that. Or, look at this. I'm coming up with all the ideas, Kyle. I'm in the boardroom. I should have been there, okay?
I do have another one.
But it's just Spider-Man colors.
That's called Oops All Berries. I think that's
I think
that's a thing, isn't it?
It is a thing, but we'll just take it. Like, we'll just be like Spider-Man month or whatever.
Let me hit you with one. Putting cereal aside, this came to me.
Yep.
Spider-Man Oreos.
I was literally just going to say that because the Mario ones.
Oh, I didn't even think. I was just thinking you could do a cool thing with like the whites, like webbing, and then you could do like a red and a black. I don't know.
No, 1000% I had that same thought.
Yeah. Cool.
God bless. Kyle, any treat of your choice?
Well, I'd say the Pop-Tart.
Dumbass would be like, just a Pop-Tart. My dumbass would be like oatmeal, cream of wheat, grits.
Uncle Ben's rice, perchance.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I feel like an energy drink would be a good branding too, like Miles Venom Powers.
Ooh,
or something like that.
Flavor. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You throw the word shock in it.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Ooh, it's shocking. All right. Hey, guys, have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Spider-Man 2 doesn't need its day one patch on PS5, but Insomniac Games still recommends downloading it. That's strange.
So download it.
Just download it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, listen, I will say I probably played the whole game without the day one patch for what it's worth. So it was fine.
Great.
You know? Yeah.
Hey, listen, it's like we're traveling back to the year 2010 when games just came on discs like they were supposed to. There was no day one patch.
Yeah.
Similar times. All right, Kyle, have you seen this? Have you heard about this? PlayStation has a patented controller that stores and charges wireless earbuds. Jake, you're cheering. I don't know why, because I get a 3-minute battery life of my DualSense. Why would I want to change
This
it?
came across the Game Explained desk this morning, and I was popping off, and everybody was telling me how stupid I was, and I said, I don't care. I want this. Yeah, I am all about this. All right,
Okay.
listen. Maybe I'm like a little baby gamer, and that's fine. I never have problems with my DualSense battery.
I actually don't either.
What?
I'm just playing. I'm out here playing my games. I put it on my little charging dock. I pick it back up later. I'm totally fine. So
Guy's a
that's not even
psychopath.
that's not. And I'm using the DualSense Edge, which apparently is even worse.
Yes.
So provided by Sony, I'm not out here spending $200 on a controller.
I am.
But, no, okay,
I am,
all right,
Jake.
all right. But let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about this earbuds
Not
thing.
to talk shit, and I pulled out the controller. You're like, oh shit, no,
Okay,
yeah,
all right, listen, let me tell you about these earbuds. Okay,
All right.
I think that it's actually clever and utilitarian to have earbuds that sync alongside your controller to the console. That makes sense to me. You don't
No,
have to go
actually,
into the audio settings and go, oh, find my headphones, press the button. You know, it's like, oh, are they connected? Oh, they're not connected. Oh, they're connected to something else. No, you pair them, your controller, you press the button, you're paired to the console, you're done. That makes sense to me.
I'm gonna vote for Jake.
Well,
I didn't
Maybe
even
I
think
should
about
be the new
syncing it.
PlayStation guy.
Yeah, let's do it.
All
Jake
right.
for CEO. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
when are those Link earbuds going up? PlayStation
November.
Link.
November.
Are they? I know they're being sold,
November.
but I mean, like, it's weird. There's no pre-order yet for them.
Right?
It is weird. I have to assume that these will be compatible with this. You have to assume.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't make another, because they already have the in-zone wireless earbuds.
Yep.
Then this PlayStation Link earbuds. It'd be crazy to have a third branded wireless earbud option.
Yeah, no, I think if anything, because we are getting to the limit, those earbuds probably push back till early 2024.
Oh my god, you think so? You think they're
No,
pushing them
I
back?
think they need to be out with the portal.
Do you
I
think?
so too. I think so too.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Just because we're getting so late to it, I'm thinking Black Friday. I'm thinking the retail rush.
I
And
think
both of
they.
you are
I think they
okay.
produced near none of these, and they plan on selling them all.
Fair enough. I
I-
mean, I will fight for these buds because I
Yeah.
hate wearing headphones. I will live and die by the earbud.
Yeah.
110%.
No, I hear you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, Kyle, have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Yes.
Alan Wake 2 will receive free DLC alongside paid expansions. Speaking to EGX in London this past weekend, Lake revealed a tidbit about and noted these free drops won't just be simple cosmetics and boosters. Quote, we do have free DLC drops coming. They too will be pretty significant, and we're expecting us to go a bit into detail pretty soon after the game comes out. But all of that will be free for everyone who gets the game.
I hope
that you, Kyle?
it's branded DLC like the Energizer batteries from the first game.
I love it. I love it.
What's the
All right.
Alan Wake 2 hype level?
Very hype.
Oh,
I'm very hyped. I'm
Oh.
hyped, but there's no way I'm gonna play it at launch.
Yeah.
There's
sure,
just no
understood.
feasible way. I got
Too busy.
Spider-Man. Yeah, life. It's gonna be the next game I play after Spider-Man, but there's no way I get to it at launch.
Hats off to Epic for doing that Fortnite Alan
Yes.
Wake catch-up
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
that
I
was
was
one of
about
the
to
that was
say
one of
it,
the
yeah.
coolest. Man, talk about a publisher using the resources they have to promote a game. That was smart. That came across my desk the other day, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, that's actually really freaking cool. I bet you the people involved in Alan Wake also think that that is a cool promotion. You know?
Absolutely. And it's such a creative thing as well.
So neat.
Kyle,
Yeah.
are you gonna finally jump on the Fortnite bandwagon?
No.
Go to hell.
I mean, I have the Kratos skin. What else do I need?
All right,
It's
fair
fun.
enough.
It's
Fair
a good
enough.
time. I'm Superman all the time.
Oh, you're Superman all the time?
All the time.
Right now I'm Ahsoka. Because I mean,
Nice.
of course. I
Again,
spent way too much money.
I
in
would
this
love
game.
to have a lifetime money spent that Joe shelled out on Fortnite.
It's a down payment on a car. 100%.
Or a
it's
house.
down payment on it. Or even a house at this point. You're right. But I am actually gonna definitely go into that. Hopefully tonight. Maybe even tomorrow morning, and
Wow.
see what all the hubbub's about. I would love to get a taste. That said, it's finally time for what you been playing. Jake, we got listen, I played Mirage, I played Call of blah blah blah. I don't care what Kyle's played this week.
Nope.
It don't matter. Spider-Man 2, PlayStation 5. Let's get right into it. First and foremost, of course, spoiler free. We're not psychotic. This is all top level stuff. All right.
I don't want to know any spoilers.
That's right.
We're so close.
I am not allowed to reveal spoilers, so we're good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. You may be choosing chaos tonight.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know. So, Jake, I want to know. We always do this thing. Walking in.
Yeah.
Where were you for hype levels for Spider-Man 2? Going into the game.
Okay, I really liked Spider-Man 2018. I liked Miles Morales more.
Fair.
And I was always I liked these games. I'm a big fan of Insomniac. Ratchet and Clank's probably one of my favorite franchises of all time. But I was always a little critical of the Spider-Man games, particularly for two reasons. One, I've always felt that the web swinging was a little canned. I felt like it was maybe on autopilot, and it was doing some of the swinging for me. And I always wished there was a little bit more risk reward. And the second thing was in terms of the combat, for all those comments that people make about oh, you feel like Spider-Man, I actually always kind of felt the combat was not fully realized, mostly because they took the Ratchet and Clank weapon wheel, in Spider-Man's case, the web gadgets, and you could pull this thing up whenever you wanted, take all the time in the world, freeze time, make your decision, and go back in. And in my head, a Spider-Man game, you should not be able to escape the rhythm of what's happening.
That is a totally fair critique, by the way, that I've never heard before. And it totally makes sense.
I always felt like a psychopath because I had never heard anybody bring this up before. And the crazy thing is that they actually fixed that in Spider-Man 2. They changed it. They changed it for me.
Look at you.
I know. There are a few things in this game. I swear to God, these people were listening to me.
Yeah.
Man, or there's just people like me out there, thank God. But some other added context I want to give, because I think it's important, is about a year ago, I also reviewed God of War Ragnarok for Game Explain, and I was very critical of it. I was probably one of the most critical reviews.
I'll fight you in the street. I'll fight you in the streets.
I love, maybe probably in my top 10 of all time, God of War, the reboot or whatever. Okay. And Ragnarok, I felt was it didn't do the things emotionally and narratively for me that the first one did. And I'm gonna bring this up when I talk about Spider-Man 2, but in God of War, something that was really important to me is that I felt that they understood that a big narrative beat should be accompanied by a transcendent element in the gameplay. If something really important happens in the story, I want to make that moment memorable and exciting as a player by introducing something new to the gameplay. That's how video game storytelling works for me. And in God of War Ragnarok, I felt like there was way too much, you need something with pink energy. Oh my God. Thank God. We have a spear in the closet. That's oh my God, Jake. This is perfect. And I just and that just in my work, we would call that a writer's convenience. And I just experienced that a lot. Similar case, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Love Breath of the Wild, probably one of my favorite games of all time. Did not like Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh wow.
And I've been on this roll lately where sequels have been letting me down. And I came into this game going, here we go again. Everyone's going to be mad at me because I'm going to come in with this opinion. And Marvel Spider-Man 2, a lot of this is going to be me recapping what I said in my long Game Explain review, but for your audience.
Go check it out. Link down below.
If you will, whatever, I'm here. And I think the Marvel Spider-Man 2 is largely why I play video games. That's how strongly I feel about it. This game delivers not just in stellar mechanics, but in its understanding of the video game medium. What is fun, when it's fun, how long it's fun for. These video game players made this game. And there is such a dripping intention and passion for things here that it is at times shocking. The bold decision making that is happening in this AAA Sony first party game, I cannot freaking believe some of the things that they let in this game. I like just moments that they say, like, there are moments in this game that you feel like in some of your biggest swinging indie games, like that's where they belonged in. That's how out there they are. And,
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
Music
so-
to my ears.
that's the thing. There's an artist's touch. There's somebody's fingerprint behind this game. And I don't know who it is, but in the same way that like that God of War reboot, I felt like Cory Barlog's fingerprint was on
yeah.
that game. You know what I mean? There was something personal there.
Yeah.
That's going on in this game. And for my tastes, for my sensibilities, this game is a bona fide masterpiece. I think it takes ideas from a now pretty storied lineage of superhero games. There's some stuff in this game that straight up they were like, man, that was really cool in Batman Arkham. Let's do some of that. There's stuff in this game where they said, hey, remember that part in Uncharted that everybody liked? Let's do something like that. Hey, remember that part in The Last of Us that everybody liked? Let's do some stuff like that. There is like, this game is not only, Ratchet and Clank. Oh man, Ratchet and Clank. This is the most Ratchet and Clank Spider-Man game ever. There is stuff in this game that they said, okay, not only are we going to take from Insomniac's long history of video games, we're going to examine and understand and appreciate this kind of like third person character focused action game that Sony has been chasing for more than a decade at this point. And I think they have earned their spot at the top of the mountain with all of those other titles. Yeah, so for me and for my money, it doesn't get much better than this. I think it justifies a PlayStation 5 purchase. It's got, this is such a dumb thing to say, but it feels next gen. It feels it's in, and I haven't said that about anything so far. This feels next gen. As a comic book fan, as a comic book freak, as a comic book fan, it delivers. Something I was nervous about going into this game is that I am almost in a sick way well-read when it comes to comic books. And there's something like, I go see like the superhero movies, there's no surprising me. I like know everything. Right. And I think worse than like not being surprised is that I've seen every version of these stories. And I think I went into this game and I was like, I saw the trailer. I saw Spider-Man go, I'm gonna beat that guy up, or you know, whatever it is that he says, and I'm just like, oh, we're doing this again. And there was a part of me that was resisting that, and there's a playfulness with Marvel comic book history here, where they are examining everything through the lens of, but how can we change this to make a better video game?
Yes.
And they're not attached to any preconceived ideas about these characters or these relationships. They are saying, okay, hey, that's a really nice idea, but we need to interpret this now for our medium. How can we make this make sense here?
Kyle
Yes,
Stevenson, the trophy room.
One of my biggest questions and holdups, I guess you would say, of things I was worried about, because I love both Insomniac's Peter and Insomniac's Miles so much. I was worried that one would take the backseat to the other. So in Spider-Man 2, do they do both characters justice and give them both the amount of like love and attention in the story?
That's a great question.
Yeah, anybody you ask, if you ask who does the story lean towards, everybody you ask is going to give you a different answer.
Ooh, I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
it's
awesome.
You know, it's funny.
That gave me chills. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm wrestling with that question right now in my head. I'm not sure what I would say. So it's interesting. I think the beauty of it really is that and man, it has been so long since I have felt a video game understood this. There's like a narrative thing that they understand where every character is dealing with the same themes. And Peter's dealing with something that is wholly his own, and Miles is dealing with something that's wholly his own. And if you just examine it on the surface level, you'll see them as very separate. But like everything they say about how they're feeling and how they're examining their situation could be applied to the others. And then here's the crazy thing. Every villain, it's the same for every villain.
Oh,
They're all dealing with the same thing.
Hell yeah.
They're all speaking to each other's situations, and you're getting different sides of the same story. So there's this, it's funny, it's like, oh, does it balance it well between Peter and Miles? I'm almost like, it doesn't even matter. They're so like mixed up and in this ball together that I don't even really separate the story in my mind because it is so like holistically tied.
Again, music to my ears.
Awesome to hear. Yeah, the one thing that I was also like, that I kind of clung to was the fact that, we were talking with our good friend Carlos way back when I say way back when, a few weeks ago. And he's like, one of the reasons why I love Insomniac and one of the reasons why I don't like, Batman, Dark Knight Rises was like, Dark Knight Rises like forgot what Batman was. Like all of a sudden, like he's hung up on on this girl and he doesn't want to be Batman anymore. No, he would want to be Batman even more if that's the case. As where Insomniac challenges Peter in ways that, Marvel would challenge Peter in this way, but they would do so with characters or situations that we haven't seen in a Marvel thing in an awfully long time. And so it's like, we're gonna give you the story of Spider-Man. It's gonna be told in this different way, but at the same time be respectful or even maybe mindful of the source material before it. And I feel like they make changes only when it feels appropriate, if that makes sense.
Let me tell you about how this game developed my appreciation for the Spider-Man character.
Please.
I would, if you would have asked me before, it's funny, I'm extremely prepared for this because I taught a class on it before about comic book superheroes. But if you were to ask me, like, what are the key elements of any Spider-Man story, I would say two things. I would say one, sacrifice. Every Spider-Man story is about making this choice, dealing with the consequences, what you're sacrificing. That's if a Spider-Man story isn't about that, I start looking at it and questioning things. It's one of those things where, like, in this class, I looked at Spider-Man Homecoming and I was like, every single time my dude makes a sacrifice, he's actually rewarded for it and nobody cares. He like blows this girl off at prom and she's like, dude, it's okay. He doesn't go to the decathlon thing where they're competing against the other schools and they win anyways. And I'm like, dear God. Like, okay, so sacrifice. And then two, this is kind of a weird thing, but it's that moment where you'll know it well. The character is like covered under the rubble, like they've got something and they've got to push past their limits. That moment of everything is lost. No, I've got to go further. That is Spider-Man. And this game showed me. It's like, Jake, there's a third thing. And I take this in stride, but I think there's a degree to which a lot of PlayStation titles are chasing a kind of prestige television drama, HBO, right? And this game is not doing that. And I think the third thing is earnest sweetness. This game like has heart in a way that is not just like easy and it's like about the power of friendship like a lot of like blockbuster movies are. It has heart in a way that is thoughtful. It has heart in a way that is inclusive and mindful and interesting. And I think that is honestly like the biggest adjustment I had to make playing this game is that I used to live in New York City and they introduce you to this version of New York City that Spider-Man 2 occupies is probably the most idyllic, just again, earnestly sweet version of New York City that you will see in any piece of fiction. The way that these characters talk to and support each other. And that like took me a second to really accept. And once I accepted that and saw what they were doing with it and why they made that choice, it kind of all started to unfold for me. So there's something here that I think a lot of people are going to miss because entertainment teaches us how to watch it. And because this is not following in the footsteps of how we have been trained to appreciate great art, I'm afraid that some people will miss it. I'm afraid that there is just as much artistry in the life and death stakes and the tearful conversations as there is in friends helping each other out. There is just as much artistry.
On that note, real quick, Jake.
Yeah.
How much is that due to the performances of the cast, without like getting into like spoilers? Like, from the little bit that I've read, because I've tried to be like media blackout, but like, I forgot who said this, but they appreciate Yuri's performance as Spider-Man so much more because of this game. And is that like kind of true across the board, where like they're bringing their A game and they know
Miles
these characters so well, kind of thing?
Yeah, I think so. None of the characters did that thing where it like flagged as a problem for me.
Good. Okay.
I'm immersed in a way that I accept everything that's going on. I want to shout out whoever's doing Venom. That guy's just top of the class.
Clancy Brown?
No. I got it, but keep going.
Okay.
Yeah. Whoever's doing Venom, that guy's just on something else. Combined with like however they do the sound design and how they're making him sound the way that he sounds, it's unbelievable. Tip of the cap to Miles and
Tony Todd. There you go.
Tony Todd. Thank you.
Tip of the cap to Miles and Rio. Just as somebody who I grew up with a Spanish speaking parent, and
Likewise.
the way that they talk to each other. Like, honest to God, like the verisimilitude, the degree to which it is similar to real life, like tears in my eyes, man.
Yeah.
The first time this is kind of silly, but like, I didn't realize that I was underrepresented in media until I played Miles Morales. And I went, oh my God, do people connect this way to these to characters all the time?
Yep.
I had no idea. And watching this dude, like talk to his Puerto Rican mom. My mom's a Cuban immigrant by way of Puerto Rico. I like just like knocks me down. So
it's why I love Miles so much. It's why I love those movies so much. It's like I had that moment, that like come to Jesus moment, or Jesus for this moment, where I was watching that movie and it wasn't anything but the one scene where Miles is like scooping up like the soup that his mom's making while they're speaking Spanglish in the background. It's like, oh shit, that's my house. It's like, oh my God, that happens. And I'm seeing it here, and it was like this special feeling that you just can't shake off. That said, okay, character's great. Story seems like it's pretty darn special. I want to know about the combat.
Let's
game. It says, you were telling us it spoke to you.
Yes.
In such a way. And that's the one thing that I felt kind of maybe my only cautious, like, side of me going, how are they going to make this any different without straying too far away? And how do they, make changes without it feeling too similar? So take it away, Jake.
Yeah. So really quick before we transition, I just want to say on the topic of the story, I think the key thing I want to get across to your audience is that it's not necessarily the words on the page that make the story so great. It's the way that the moments crescendo, the way that they build up, that they have this theme and they poke at it from every angle, and then the way that it pays off. It doesn't just pay off as words on the page. It pays off in a video game sense. When a moment happens, it's not just happening for the character in a cutscene. It is happening for you in the gameplay. And that's what makes it memorable and awesome. Okay. So kind of circling back to what I was saying earlier.
Already
about the
tearing up, by the way.
I'm
already tearing up.
I'm getting emotional just thinking about this game.
Yeah.
I have a lot of love and respect for the people that made this game. But so the combat. Slowing down the time with that menu. They have retooled the combat so that menu does not exist anymore. And now what you're dealing with are like these hotkeys. So you have special abilities on L1 and R1, and they're just there. So it's like you hold L1, you press square, that is one of your special abilities. You hold R1, you press square, that's one of your web gadgets. And it's the same for all of the face buttons. So the combat never stops. So already right there, addressing my complaint. You're
Yeah.
never out of it. Second thing, I don't know, numbers wise, it's hard for me to tell exactly what's going on, but they have clearly balanced the combat in a way where I kind of felt in the past 2 Spider-Man games that the web gadgets were like get out of jail free cards. I felt like a lot
Yes.
of those things were very powerful.
Shout out to Web Blossom.
Heck yeah.
Shout out.
If and I also felt like for whatever reason when I was playing that I was just doing finishers on people left and right.
Mhm.
Like nonstop. You know, and I played
Yeah.
this game on the highest difficulty available. And my impression was that first off, something I love, you feel the difference in the enemies that you're fighting. Spider-Man is at his most powerful when he's fighting a bunch of grunts and he can zip around between them, maybe keep himself in the air. You know what I mean? Like that's where Spider-Man is strong. But then the second a big dumb chunky guy comes out and he's really strong and it's a one-on-one fight, that is a tougher fight for Spider-Man. And you feel that in the game. A couple of things go towards this. The first, the focus meter, the thing that makes it so once you fill it up, you can do a finisher. This is also the thing that you could burn it to get your health back up.
Mhm.
I used this thing 93% of the time to get my health back up. I was
Nice.
not doing finishers in this game, which shocked me. I had to really get used to that. I was like, no, that's my sweet health. So
Yeah.
I like desperately needed that. The second thing, there is a parry mechanic in this game that is
I was
new
going to
to this
ask.
Now you're speaking to me. In my soul's heart, in my soul, tell me about the parry system.
Okay. So
Is it sweet? Is it delicious? Is it Sekiro like?
I wouldn't say it's Sekiro like. I would say that it's familiar to the rhythm and timing of the Spider-Man games. But the thing that makes it so delicious is that when you hit the parry, the audio visual design of this thing is just stupid. Like you literally feel like a god. Like it's unbelievable. Like you
awesome.
want to do the parry just so you can see the animation. Like it's awesome. It's like one of the best animations in the game. And the funny thing about the
Ooh.
parry is that you don't think you're going to need it too much at the beginning, just the way that the game on-ramps you to the toughness of enemies. And then you get to the first boss where you really need to use it, and you're kind of like, maybe I should have practiced that parry a little bit more, you know? But yeah, it's like a cool system. They've got, it's a little Batman Arkham in this way. There's like a type of attack where if you just like press O to dodge, you're still going to get hit by it. You need to use the parry. But it doesn't lock you in. And you're Spider-Man. So if you like press X and you jump and you zip and you get like, it's not going to automatically make you take damage. If you got out of there, you got out of there. So like everything is part of this thing that works really well together. But I think the biggest compliment I can give to the combat is that it never stopped being fun. And I don't know. It's weird to say this, right? Because this is like a sequel. It's a sequel. We had Marvel Spider-Man, we had Miles Morales, and if you look at gameplay, you're probably going to think that it looks awfully similar to the past few games. But I think the truth is, and I feel this way about the web swinging too, they give you enough new abilities that for somebody like me, I think it fuels the creativity a little bit. I'm like, no matter what I'm doing, this is a fighting game term, but like my mental stack, like all the things I'm thinking of doing as I'm in a fight, it feels really tall actually, because I'm like looking at, okay, I've got these abilities, these web abilities, I've got like my normal little web shot that you're just like tapping R1 to do, and you've got like this kind of cool suite of like web tugging abilities that you can do. Like one of my favorite ones is like holding triangle and pressing a button. You can like grab somebody's gun and swing it back at them. And like I love that thing. Like that thing's so fun. And then there's like another button that you can use to take their whole body and swing them in a direction. And it's like now all of a sudden you're thinking, okay, maybe I push them off this building. Maybe I web them a little bit, then I push them into the wall. They stick to it. Maybe I hit this guy into that guy. It's like there's a mental stack there that is that like keeps that. Maybe if you're just like watching the game, you're like, okay, yeah, it looks like Spider-Man combat to me. But when you're playing it, you're so locked into like you're playing your card, then you're playing your next card, then you're playing your next card, that it feels special in a way on the sticks in the hand. Yeah.
I love it.
I have
love
a
it.
couple questions to tie to combat.
Yeah.
First one is, how are we upgrading our Spideys?
Yeah.
And like, are we still using, like, I think in 2018 you got like tokens from doing side missions, whatever, and then that's how you level up gadgets. Is it similar kind of in that way? And then two, stealth wise, is stealth more fun in this one?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Good questions.
Good question.
Yeah. So you level up, and when you level up, it's like any video game you've played, skill points. You get a skill point, you go into a tree, you spend them. There's a Peter tree, there's a Miles tree, there's a Peter and Miles tree.
Okay.
And the game is not like, do this. You can just do whatever you want.
Hell yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, really cool. And then there's like currencies that are used for your web gadgets, your like other superfluous like suit abilities, give yourself like more health, give yourself more focus meter, stuff like that. And then there's stuff that's a little more specific to that. I think there's like a traversal one too, maybe. You can like just make yourself swing faster, which is cool. But yeah, you get those from doing different side missions. You can find like these caches around the city that have a certain resource. I know that some people categorically don't like skill trees. I think that they work here simply because you do have so many options in your combat and traversal that you need. If you weren't getting these things one by one, you would never learn them all. So I think it is a little bit intuitive to be like, oh, okay, now that ability I mentioned, I want this ability that lets me take the gun and slam it into them. And then you get that, you use it for a little while, you commit it to memory, you get your next ability. You gain levels in this game so freaking fast, man. It's like outrageous. Like everything you do, you like go to that menu and you're like, I have 5 skill points, and you're like, that was my experience at least. So I think it's a fun experience because I never felt like okay, here's one for you. Like open world games. Sometimes I'm the kind of person that's like, okay, first thing I do, I got to go around, do all of these things because I want the whole map. Or I want this ability, so I'm going to go do all that stuff. Like not in this game.
Okay.
First off, the narrative thrust of the story was simply too delicious to resist, so I could not. But you feel like you have so much off the top. And the stuff that you are getting inch by inch is so like fun. It's just like fun, man. That like that I never like was wanting for, okay, I got to take some time, grind, go do all this stuff so I can get these abilities. Like early on, one of the first traversal abilities you get is the ability to do like a full loop de loop on a web. And like you couldn't do that in the last game.
No.
The game would take over control and make you swing. And in this one, you can get this ability where like you little dive down, you get a bunch of momentum, you shoot out your web, and it's just like on the side of a building or whatever. You keep that button held down, and he goes all the way around, and you shoot out like a freaking cannonball. And it is
awesome.
It rules. It rules.
So, I mean,
yes.
Gene Bob writes in, thank you, Gene Bob. Is the map size different than the first part? Or sorry, is the map size different from the first game, or is it bigger? Is it
how
broader?
different is New York City in the second one than the first one?
There you go.
Okay, it's pretty freaking different. Yeah, like so, like broad strokes, it's New York City. You know what I mean? It's skyscrapers. You're going at it a mile a minute. How much are you really? Whatever. But I think what's cool about this iteration of it is that the stuff that's new, it's not just like, okay, more. It's not just more. It's the stuff that is new. They go out of their way to make it stand out with the stuff that is there, but also without spoiling anything, with the stuff that's happening in those areas. So if there was an area that wouldn't be that interesting if it was added, they give attention to it and say, what could we have happening here that might make this more interesting? And that's really cool. And just like as a general note, like going off into like Queens, off into like the neighborhoods where there's just like single or double floor houses and like driveways, and like some people have like a pool in their backyard, like in a Spider-Man game. I don't know. There's just something like cool.
I'm very excited to.
I mean, it must change the way you traverse through those parts of the map, right?
I'm very excited to be let down if City Field is there or not there. Like, I want to go see if it's there in Queens, just to be like, take some photo mode shots, and then off I go. But I'm fingers crossed.
Definitely go see it if it's there.
Okay, I will.
So, something you just reminded me of something though. This traversal in this different kind of environment. You have the web wings now.
Yes.
Going into this game, I was a web wing hater. I was like, I'm Spider-Man. I want a web swing.
I'm kind of with you on that one. Yeah.
Like why would I? That's not what I'm here to do. Big dum dum here apparently. The thing that the web wings add to the game is exactly what I'm saying about the combat. It adds to the mental stack. So when you are swinging, the web wings teach you to constantly be engaging with your environment. So like at a moment's notice, you have this other option, and you in your head like you're doing that little, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna dive down there. I'm gonna catch that vent, and I'm gonna pop up there, and then I'll keep web swinging over there. And it's like this very silly thing. And again, I don't know if it comes across in videos, but like when you're actually doing traversal, it just like feels like the sky is the limit all of a sudden of the things that you can do, and it's like tuned so well. It doesn't feel overpowered in your. You know what I like about the web wings, by the way, is the risk reward. The web wings are harder to use than web swinging. So like, depending on how skilled you are, at the very beginning of the game, I could see some people being like, oh, this isn't quite behaving the way I want it to. And there is a little bit of like, but if you nail it, you know when you nail it. And you have these moments where you didn't even know that the game could go this fast.
Also, really quickly, Jake, are those air currents visible at all times when you're web swinging around and not using web wings? Are they just like there?
No, so you can kind of see like a little wisp in the air. You can see like a little, yeah. And then I think you have to click like R3 to like bring up the sensors. But then if you like find your way in one, it will like pop up a little bit and you'll be like, oh, I'm in the rings. But no, if you're just like looking at the city, you don't see anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
One last question about this Spider-Man game I'm hearing so much about.
I also do want to hear about the stealth, but go ahead, Joe.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Take stealth first, because my next one's a little bit bigger than that. Yeah.
So the big thing that they've added with the stealth is, I think this was in trailers, like the ability to like shoot out a line, and now it's just like in the environment. I have some like great like screenshots of this where like I would come across these areas and I would just do that, and then at the end like look around and it's like all of these cocoons of bad guys all like hanging like Christmas lights.
Yeah,
it's like so awesome. I'm gonna say that stealth. It's funny. I've seen reviews directly contradict this, but I don't care. I'm gonna say that stealth maybe takes a backseat in this game.
Okay.
I think if you want to do the stealth, there is nothing stopping you, and there is like a variation of like Mary Jane stealth missions which are back in this game that I believe to be, I can't really talk about them, but I believe them to be greatly superior than how they have been in past incarnations, to the point that I actively looked forward to them.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
There is a mechanic that they give Mary Jane this time around, and that is one of those moments where I go, man, you're really out here doing this in your video game. But yeah, just like general Spider-Man stealth, you keep like your Miles Morales ability to be invisible, which is cool. And it's just one of those things where I think like, depending on the kind of player you are, it might really mean something to you to drop into an area and take out as many guys stealthily as you can first. That might mean something to you. For somebody like me, that's a psychopath. And again, I'm like playing on the hardest difficulty. I want to run in there and go, like, come to me. And I'm like trying to practice my parry and doing all that nonsense. So yeah. So I don't know. I think it's like good and it works, but it's like not a stealth game. Like what is the cone of vision for grunts in the Spider-Man game? I have no idea. Why don't these people ever look up? I don't know.
That's a valid question.
They've been beaten up, you know?
So like you can do these things in the game, and I think when you give them their moments, it does shine. But I don't think that the game is like paying special attention to it, really trying to
Fair enough. Okay. All right, last but not leastly.
Yeah.
Before we wrap this segment up, I want to know about side missions. I want to know about side content, random encounters, all that jazz. Miles Morales tried it a bit with the whole like, hey, you have a cell phone now and you got an app, and we'll give you a ring when some
2018 had that too. Peter had a cell phone, if I remember correctly.
I mean, listen, but he had like T-Mobile. I'm talking, he had Verizon Wireless. All right.
Also, one of my favorite things of the original 2018 game is reading the feed of the New Yorkers as the story goes on.
Yes,
I love that.
Yeah.
So my question to you, sir: side content, side missions.
Yeah.
How do they break up the monotony that is the game?
Yeah. I want to say this game in a lot of ways takes a page out of like Nintendo's handbook.
Okay.
I think there is a degree in a way that is going to shock a lot of players that this game constantly mixes up the things you are doing. Like, I cannot believe some of the mechanics and random little gameplay segments that occur in this game. I think that a lot of stuff was tuned from the past several Spider-Man games where you never really, I think like if a past game was like, hey, clear out 20 of these bases where all the bad guys are, maybe in this game they say clear out 12.
Okay.
And I think they focus more on quality and variation than they do on that kind of like monotonous open world grind. But the big thing I want to say about the side content is I think this is where a lot of the sweetness comes through that I was talking about earlier. There is, man, I really wish we could talk about it. There are some missions in this game that what they have you do, where they have you go, and ultimately how they resolve the conflicts floored me. And and like tearing up, thinking about my life, reflecting on whatever, and just like the boldness to go to these places. I am impressed. I think people will. I think something that's being confused in some reviews that I have read since the review embargo has been up is that I've seen people not as into the side content as me. And I think that a lot of that has to do with you need to remind yourself that this is not like an open world RPG in the style of like The Witcher. That's not the kind of side content this is going for. And I think what they're doing here is that they're trying to speak to the character you are playing and the world that they are trying to illustrate for you, and specifically your place in that world. And these are bite-sized narrative experiences that are not necessarily the same kinds of side content that I think people really love in like their big RPGs where it's like this affects this and then I go out and then this person reappeared there. That's not what's happening.
There's no like domino effect.
No.
Right, yeah.
And I think to me a lot of the side content here, like you could have stripped it out and offered it as part of a DLC later and I would have been like, yeah. So I don't know. It's a different flavor of DLC. Or DLC. It's a different flavor of side content. And I think depending on what you're looking for, it might hit one way or hit another. But for me, in this like classic take on the open world game and this genre and what they are trying to do, it is, I think, best in class.
Awesome.
I like really quick and just again to complement it even further, far more interesting than I think anything the Batman Arkham games were doing. So I don't know. It's been a minute since I've really played this. Yeah. But yeah, the way that these brought this stuff brought me in. That's for my money. Yeah.
Last silly question.
Yeah.
Did Peter remember he had more backpacks to collect in this game for collectibles, or unless it's a spoiler? If it's spoiler, don't say anything.
So I can talk about this.
What are we collecting? Because it's an open world.
Yeah. I think that's a good question. So I actually can't talk about. I don't think I can talk about this the cool thing you're collecting.
Yeah. Don't do that.
But they changed how you get costumes in this game.
Okay.
And you don't find them. It's just like basically every time you level up, you like get a costume.
Oh, I love that.
And it like kind of goes between like Peter and Miles, like one here, one there, one here, one there. And this I kind of alluded to this earlier. I forgot this was a part of it, but there's like this joy in leveling up in this game. It's like the weirdest thing. Like you press on that menu button with like bated breath.
Because
so,
usually what I do in a video game, because I'm psychotic, is I wait 5 levels
yes,
and then I'll level up. Because I'm like, what's the point? It's just like one like strength point.
Yeah.
But here it's like as you're saying that, I'm like, well, now I want to level up to level 32
Oh my God,
so I
no,
get that miles skin.
You see it on the menu. You see all the blank costume spaces, and each one says unlocks at level 20, unlocks at 21, unlocks at 22. And so I'm sitting there going, you're telling me I only got to gain 1 level to get a new costume? And then, like, the second that thing pops, I run to the costume menu, and I'm like, what was it? And they showed this off in the trailers, but the fact that, like, the large majority of the costumes in this game also have like 4 colorways that you can choose from now. It's just insane. It's just ridiculous. It's a level of, I didn't even talk about like the performance, which is just like a technical marvel unto itself.
Like I've seen clips of like how fast travel works, which blows my mind.
No, fast travel is like a cruel joke. And the funny thing is that I thought
and swapping between them too was also like mind blowing.
A cruel joke. It is the fast travel. I thought was just like taking you to somewhere in a borough, like, oh, I could fast travel to Midtown. And then I realized it's exactly where like your little dumb reticle lands, and it's just like, no, you're just there, dude. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Yeah, it's insanity. Oh my God, love this game.
Also,
if they would let me give this game an 11 out of 10, I would.
To reiterate, in the chat, Marcus O'Neill says, Insomniac needs to hire Jake because if I wasn't already sold, I would be now.
Right?
I agree. I have to go through a whole work day to get to this game
for 10 minutes because every word he's saying, I'm just enthralled by.
Exactly. Give it to me. I'm gonna go break into a Best Buy right now and steal a copy.
Well, if they're even there, you know what I mean?
Oh,
and I don't want to promise that everybody's going to feel the way that I feel or that this is like an objective opinion, but I hope that everybody listening can tell that this is how I feel. Yeah. This is like truly how this game hit for
your
me.
enthusiasm is so infectious right now. I want to like, try to listen. I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed. I think I could Jimmy a lock. You know what I'm saying? So like,
oh my God,
you have me sold. Spider-Man 2 seems like a heck of a good time. I can't actually wait to go back because I'm a little bit of a sicko. I like to go back to the reviews that we've done or have people on do, and while I'm playing it, just like listen back over and go, yep, nope, I get what they were getting at here.
For both of you and for anybody listening, if you take anything from this conversation, the one thing just to keep in your head that I would love if people examined was watch how when something big happens in the story, when a large narrative beat happens, watch what they do in the gameplay. Just keep that in mind. Just like the way that they bring these things together. It didn't feel like there's a story team over here and they're working, and then there's the people over here designing the gameplay systems. It felt like that was one thing.
It's cohesive.
And it's really cohesive. And just keep that in mind, because I think that is something that really elevates this game in a way that like I would love to see from more AAA games, and I feel like I'm constantly criticizing. So yeah.
I want to go fight crime. Thank you so much for your words, Jake. That was I'm so excited. Spider-Man can't come fast enough. Ooh-wee. All right, that's what you've been playing. Now I got a question for both of y'all. Are you holding on to something? Jake, I would recommend holding on to that gritty. The gritty behind you? Good. Prepare the drop. Here are the latest steals and deals coming to the PlayStation storefront. I like Jake's little animation, like he is truly falling. Kyle, take note on that. Oh, his arms up. Oh, he let go. October 16th, SpongeBob The Cosmic Shake on PS5. October 17th, A Boy and His Blob Retro Collection on PS5, PS4. Ape Escape Academy, PS5, PS4. IQ Final, guess what? My IQ, double digits, humble brag, PS5, PS4. Skull Island, Rise of Kong, PS5, PS4.
Hell yeah.
Sonic Superstars, who let me down big time this week, PS5, PS4. Soul Calibur Broken Destiny on PS5, PS4. Tekken 6 on PS5, PS4. The Caligula Effect. Is it
Yep, you got it. Caligula.
Oh, you got it. Oh, yes. 2 on PS5. Wizard with a Gun. On PS5.
Really quickly, Joe, I did not think we would have another contender for a worst game of the year in Skull Island.
What do you
Just
mean?
from what I've seen. I don't know if either of you've seen this game in action. They shipped the final game with the JPEG of the dinosaur.
It's pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah. IGN reviews up. They gave it a 3 out of 10.
And so, like, that and Gollum this year, wild.
Oh my God, Kyle! I think we gotta play this game.
Extra Life. There
Wait,
you go.
Can I tell you about my
Extra
panic
life.
with this, by the way?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes.
So the publisher is the same publisher as Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2,
Mm-hmm.
a game that I am highly anticipating. I'm a bit of a fighting game sicko.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to check it out, by the way, I don't know if either of you saw this, but a recent trailer for the game, I was featured in
Hell
voiceover.
yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
So So if you check out the Angry Beavers character showcase, that's me talking.
all right, all
uh,
right.
But I am so excited for that game, and the fact that the publisher put this out, it's like freaking me out, guys. I'm like, oh God, who can I
You should
trust?
be concerned. You should be concerned that your name is somehow could be attached to this.
Oh,
That
God.
This could come back to you.
Yeah,
Yeah. This looks
brutal.
this looks fucking rough. Oh my goodness. All right. October 18th, Hellboy, The Web of Word on PS5, PS4. Kona 2, Broom on PS5, PS4. Slender, The Arrival on PS5, PS4. October 19th, Agatha Christie, The Murder of the Orient on the Orient Express on PS5, PS4. There's Brenna Marda. Animal Hospital on PS5, PS4. Really had to be this week. Okay. Endless Dungeon on PS5, PS4. That was a good "my dog's dead" joke.
Really,
All right,
really
Kyle?
quick shout out, Endless Dungeon.
Yeah, shout out.
Sega gave me a review code for this. Unfortunately,
Ooh.
I didn't have enough time to review it. But they're very sweet over there. They said, "Jake, play on." So I've been playing a little bit of this, and this is a great time. This is like
All
a roguelite kind of like strategy. A real-time strategy type thing, like twin stick shooter, isometric angle, co-op too. I've been playing it with a buddy of mine. We're having the time of our life. This is like a really good game.
It's a
Flying under the radar. Yeah.
It's a bummer that it's not I mean, it's releasing at a very heavy time of the year.
Yeah.
But seeing this, I think at the Game Awards a few years ago, like unveiling, like I've always been excited for it. And like Monday, I was like, oh, it's out this week. It's out in 2 days. That's wild. I'm very happy to hear that you're loving it because it's been
I literally
anticipated
found
for a
out,
while.
like this week about it, and I'm like, it looked great. I remember that reveal. I'm like, I'm on board, and yeah.
Dude, I mean, Sega.
many
It's
games.
Sega Publishing, and it's the same week as Sonic Superstars.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it's wild.
But yeah, I actually did an interview. It's up on the GameXplain channel with the creative director of this game. Same guy behind. Get this. Life is Strange.
Whoa.
Really? Oh my God.
Okay.
I was like, well, I like gave him a speech at the beginning where I was like, I need to just like talk at you about Life is Strange for 10 minutes, and then we can do the interview. But
my
but yeah,
God,
Endless
yes.
Dungeon, really cool. I highly recommend people checking it out.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You know what I recommend? Gargoyles Remastered on PS5. You know, they're doing a live action one because they ran out of ideas. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged on PS5, PS4. Inescapable. No rules. No rescue. You're in the Thunderdome with me, bitch. I'm looking at you, Kyle. That's not the real title. On PS5, PS4, The Seventh Guest, not the eighth, on VR. VR, PSVR, matter of fact. The Gap on PS5. Is that like the Gap Simulator? Kyle, look at that.
No, it's
Ooh.
not. I think it's actually like a very emotional indie game that's I've been looking forward to for a while. I think.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, not the Gap. Maybe Old Navy. In October 20th, Spider-Man, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, that is, on PS5. Never heard of it. I hope it does well. I hope it really does well. Tennis on Court on PSVR 2, and Warm Snow on PS5, PS4.
So I was about to
Kids?
joke about Warm Snow being
Yeah.
why are they naming a game after like pea snow, yellow snow?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. PS5.
The art style of this game looks incredible.
Oh, really?
If you look it up, yeah, there's like this epic dragon.
Whoa.
It's like a roguelike game. I've never heard
Yeah.
of it before. It looks really, really, really cool. Also, the Gap
Fair enough,
is
I'm aboard.
driven by a rare neurological affliction plaguing his family. Joshua has to recover his memories by exploring parallel realities through deja vu. That sounds dope.
That does
Oh,
sound
I
dope,
actually have seen this before.
Yeah.
Cool.
Holy shit, Warm Snow does look sick
Right?
as hell. Awful name. We should
Awful
change that. But this game looks dope.
Mhm.
All right. Fair enough. Hey guys, listen, it's time for the final segment of the night, but our favorite segment of the night. And Jake, get your best cowboy voice ready.
Oh.
It's time for the Sony Pony Express.
Never take me alive.
Hey Kyle, listen, you've been doing such a good job. Would you like to take over like the?
I'm so
Express?
happy that I got back-to-back segments of like an employee review mini
I think
section.
you passed.
You were like, hey, take notes on the drop, be a little more animated. Now you're like, hey,
Yep.
you're doing a good job reading this stuff. Go for it. First one comes from Green Gorilla Gamer. I think it's a bit obvious that I'm probably one of the most hyped people out there for Spider-Man 2, which is now only 2 days away. And with that, I have a question related to it. I love trailers as much as the next guy. I think they can be fun. I think they can build hype. I think they can be helpful in showing you what exactly you're getting into. However, trailers tend to go a bit far sometimes. And in this case, I think Insomniac went too far. I'll use a quick example. Captain America Civil War is one of the best MCU movies out there. That's objectively. And when I first saw the trailer, I was so hyped for it. But then they dropped another trailer closer to release, and at the end included a shot of Tom Holland's first appearance as Spider-Man. I hated that. I would have loved to have seen that in theaters and have everyone lose their collective minds, similar to the reaction from No Way Home, which I can't believe is almost 2 years ago now. Agreed. Insomniac did something similar. We're all really excited for Kraven and Venom and a few other possibilities, but the latest quote-unquote launch trailer, which ironically came out a few days ago, showed, I'll just say something I wish they wouldn't have shown, as I would have lost my shit had I seen that for the first time playing the game. And it was so close to release, they didn't have to say or show anything. So my question to you both is, how do you feel about trailers showing you a bit too much, and when it should just be experienced in a movie or game first?
Okay. Holy crap! No Way Home was 2 years ago.
I know, right? That's crazy.
Let's stop.
I agree, though, with the Civil War thing.
Stop.
We would have all lost our minds if Spidey if we just saw Queens.
Yep. And we're like,
Incredible.
wait, what's this?
Incredible.
And then like
All right.
Marissa Tomei, who's what?
I can answer this question really fast, and then we
Please.
can answer the heart of the question.
Yeah.
But I had not seen the launch trailer, so I just pulled it up and I just let it play and I watched it through. You're fine.
Oh, sweet. Good.
Oh,
Because
damn.
I was a little worried. I saw some clips from that trailer. I'm like,
Nope.
oh, didn't know he was in that. Cool.
You are fine.
Okay, sweet.
Holy crap. Okay. Yeah,
Don't,
because
I cannot stress this enough. Do not sweat about what you saw in that trailer.
Amazing.
Do not sweat.
We're
Okay?
good, Green Gorilla.
damn.
We're good.
God damn. All right, I'm ready.
But
I'm jazzed.
I do kind of agree with him that sometimes trailers go too far.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, I get that
Less
too,
is more.
especially in the movie space. I feel like
Yeah.
they're. Yeah.
I liked the thing that like the MCU used to do, where it's just like, hey, here's the thing that happens in this trailer, but it doesn't quite happen that way, or like the characters are like swapped, and you're like, oh, that's not how that happened in the trailer. I liked that. It kind of subverted the expectations.
Right.
At the same exact time, I remember where I was when I saw this Spidey in that trailer. Got me so amped for that movie. But I will say this. Black Panther stole the show in that film.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And that got me amped for Black Panther. So you're right. Like there are often times like, again, even that trailer for Spider-Man, though Jake says, don't worry about it. I would say I saw a scene of it. I was like, no, I wish he didn't. I was already sold on X, Y, and Z. You didn't have to
talk to me next
be in
week.
there.
Talk to me next week.
Dude, I will message you on Saturday morning.
Please do. Yeah, and I think another thing just to keep in mind with stuff like this is that when you're talking about like Spider-Man, this is like as big of a commercial product as it gets. And like statistics tell us that most people that play video games don't finish them. So it's there is like I don't think it's the case with this one, but there is a little bit of like a business imperative to in your marketing show off as much. You know what I mean? Because most people aren't going to see it anyway, so you might as well try to juice up that sale. But
it's what's Catch 22? Is that the right
there you
phrase?
go. Yeah, like between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
Yeah. What say you, Kyle?
About what, the trailers?
Yeah.
I'm normally when it gets this close, like when we're a week out, I try not to watch anything, just for everything in general, because I'm actually really afraid of Final Fantasy Rebirth giving
Yes.
way too much away.
It's
Especially
actually,
because it is playing with what we already know of the base game,
Yep.
the original, that I want to go into this one as fresh as possible.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm going to watch it, right? It'll probably be at the Game Awards. I'll be hyped for it. I just wish I didn't have to, I guess.
So for me, it's kind of one of like when I'm looking for stories on the trophy room, sometimes it's like this week where it's like, oh my God, we only have Spider-Man really to talk about. But sometimes it's like, oh, there's a tons of like these little stories about little gameplay mechanics of like, I think like The Last of Us had a lot of it. And I was just like, no, we don't need to talk about this. We don't need to make a 10-minute segment on like, a golf club. But what we could do, I got Kyle again. But what we could do is like the big beats, we could cover that. So like if it's shown at like a Game Awards or whatever, or it's something sizable, I often, for the audience's benefit, I really do take into account that I want you guys to also be surprised. So for me, it's actually it kind of trailers tail off into when I'm thinking about making content for the trophy room. I'm thinking, okay, what needs to be here and what doesn't in terms of like, little gameplay snippets, because I do want it to be a surprise for you and also for us. So like for me, I typically will watch a trailer once or twice unless I really love it or it's story related. So like the first Spider-Man story trailer, yeah, I watched that like a dozen times. But I'm not gonna sit back and watch, the Final Fantasy, Rebirth trailer over and over again because I saw it. I'm sold. Now I'll just wait till the next big.
Really quickly, because again, in the funk of where I don't want to play anything because Spider-Man is soon.
Yeah.
I rewatched. I like to watch live reacts to old E3 shows, Jake, and I rewatched the best Sony press conference ever, the 2016 one where Spider-Man was first unveiled, whatever. And then I was like, let me keep going, and I watched PSX 2017, where they ended with Last of Us 2. And I haven't seen that trailer, the unveiled trailer, the surprise one, in forever.
Yeah.
And the way that trailer sets up what the final game was is such a great, like, they told you what was happening without saying it. And I think and when that first came out, I was like, oh my God, what does that mean? Like, is Joel really there? Kind of, sort of like, and the fact that they nailed the final product base, like with that first trailer, that's I think a trailer done extremely.
Oh my God! Wait,
well, right.
are you two Last of Us 2 appreciators?
I love Last of Us 2. Jake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
I'm big on Last of Us 2.
Okay. It's one of my favorites of all time. Savoy
enough,
Prime. Yeah.
Savoy Prime, longtime listener of the show, loves Last of Us Part 2. Can't get enough.
Yep.
He plays it almost like on a monthly basis. He's a bit.
Oh
he's a
my
bit of a
God!
sicko
I want to go back. I
do too. I'm waiting, with rumors of like the remaster or whatever. I'm gonna wait just to see.
Same here.
But
same
I've been
here.
itching. Yeah. I want to replay it again real bad.
Yep.
Yeah. Seeing my brother like get hyped over like all the little recap, like he's like, dude, you can't believe this and happens in like Last of Us Part 2 when he was playing it. I'm like, yeah, dude. I love getting that secondhand excitement from like someone who's like,
that's cool,
playing it for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Una writes in, hey guys, hope you're doing well today. My question this week is, when have you thought a game has a lot of heart put into it? Been playing the Ace Attorney games since they just launched on Game Pass, and I needed an excuse to use my Xbox. And this is a series that shows a lot of heart in its charm in the game, which lets me throw the ball over to you guys. Which games have a lot of heart put into it in your mind?
Ooh, I mean, Life is Strange, right? Like that game just told such a goddamn personal, like just relatable story.
I mean,
man,
we brought it up briefly before. I think Celeste has a lot of heart in it.
Yes.
So like, I talk about it all the time. I thought it was just a really hard platformer, and the story it told changed my outlook on a lot of things. And like, they put everything into that game. It's some games, some characters I can really empathize with, and I can sense the person behind either in the performance or the writing. So like also like Clem and Lee, Walking Dead season 1. That's why I gravitate to that one so much.
Yep.
I mean, Last of Us, like things like that, where you can tell this means a lot to the people creating it.
Yes. Yes.
It sounds like Spidey too, as well. What Jake just talked about, like it sounds like that's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Like thinking about what my answer to this question is. The first thing my head goes to is like fighting games. Actually, I just like think there's such a on fighting games. There's such a direct focus on like the minutia of the player experience. And it's like the degree to which like mechanics speak to players, allowing you to do certain things, not allowing you to do others. Like to me, I feel like I there's a degree to which like when I'm playing Smash Brothers, I feel connected to Sakurai because I think about the decisions being made. And you know what I mean? And it's like I feel like I can make that connection like through the screen, and I'm like interfacing with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think even as a non-fighting game fan, I just appreciate the camaraderie that like all these great creators have with each other. Like seeing Ed Boon talk about like the success of Street Fighter, like he just loves this genre so much. And like vice versa. So like to me, you're right. I think the fighting game community, just because it's so tight knit, there's just a lot of heart in it.
And being out of it for so long and playing Mortal Kombat 1 story like a few weeks ago, seeing the love for like past characters or whatever in a new setting, like I could totally see where you're coming from.
Oh my god, I'm such a Mortal Kombat boy. That was such a big release for me.
That ending of that story, oh my god, I loved it so much.
Yeah, no, can't wait for Omni-Man.
Yeah. M9 Prime writes in, question for the Sony Pony Express. Yeehaw. With so many games coming out and limited time to play, have you ever bought a game at full price and either barely played it or not even played it at all? If so, what game or games has this happened to? Have you ever gone back to that game or has it just sat there since launch? Let me go look at my shelf and see all of them.
I know, it's like such a loaded question, dude, all the time.
I mean, Cyberpunk's a huge one. Witcher 3 is a huge one. Like, I know just know how big those games are, and it's hard for me to commit such a big, because I can't play more than one game at a time, and that's kind of like my issue.
It's like right now, like with Cocoon, I loved the first hour I played of it, and then I just dropped it. I'm like, I need to go back to it, but there's now so many games, right? So like, I get the gamer paralysis. So yeah, that's a big one. Like one I feel still guilty of, and I've put so many hours into, and I love, is Final Fantasy 16. Kyle, you want me to get the limited edition controller out to show you?
Please don't, because you're just going to make me sad. I got screwed over
that game
by Best Buy twice today for the Spider-Man plates, by the way.
Oof.
Both times. I'd said 92% stock left, and I clicked add to cart. Oh, no, we're out of stock. What are you doing, Best Buy? What are you doing?
What are you doing? So, like, to me, it just happens to me so much. And so like Final Fantasy 16 would be the one where like I'm 3/4 of the way in. I know I can finish it. Like I'll probably finish it actually like after, I don't know, it makes sense. But I still feel guilty that I haven't beaten it because it's not like I'm not enjoying it. I really am. I don't know why I'm just so dumb like this.
Armored Core.
That too. I bought the goddamn $200 thing.
I started up that game. Was having the time of my life. Got sidetracked with something for work that I had to do.
Absolutely.
No, and then I'm like too scared to go back now.
Liza P, I'm halfway through. Kyle told me the ending because I don't care for spoilers, and I want that game, dude.
Yeah.
And like, it's great. It's phenomenal. Again, I sold that kid at GameStop it, so like, I'm a bit of a hero. I don't want to take all the credit, but like, I love that game. Need to go back to it. I need to go back to it by the end of November, but yeah.
That's too much.
Stress.
Delicious Morsels writes in, hey guys, hope you're both feeling better since last week. If not, then get well soon. You hear? Much better.
I'm cured.
Anyway, with Spider-Man 2 and Mario Wonder both dropping on the same day, it got me thinking. Ooh, this is a good question. I read this earlier, and I'm happy we're getting to it. What if there's an alternate universe Spider-Man where Mario is Spider-Man? This leads me to two questions. One, what do you think Mario's canon event would be? And two, what other video game characters out there would you like to see in a crossover with a Marvel or DC superhero or villain? And what hero villain would it be? Yeah, the canon event is the one that I've been thinking about all day.
Yoshi gets shot by a bullet bill.
Yeah.
All right, here's Mario's canon event.
Yeah,
Please.
I'm ready.
All right. He's walking the halls of Mushroom Kingdom High. All right, and
Right.
he's a freshman,
Ooh, okay.
and he's just like this little chubby little freshman with a full grown mustache, and people constantly pick on this little man
Yeah.
because of his bushy mustache. Okay, and then senior captain of the boys volleyball team, Bowser. He goes over to Mario, and as he often does, he grabs him, he carries him into the bathrooms, he shoves him into a stall, and he starts giving him a swirly in the toilet, okay? But Bowser went too far this time. The Mushroom Kingdom pipes are too wide. Mario gets stuck in the
Oh my
pipes.
God.
In the pipes. And that's his canon event. He's stuck in there for a day.
The entire time, Jake, I'm thinking of the live action Grinch with the trimmer.
Yeah.
With little Grinch, and that being his canon event, why he hates everyone in Whoville.
That's exactly it.
That's amazing. I love that so much.
There it is. He's stuck in the pipe. He waits a whole day. Finally, Luigi plunges him out. Yeah, full day stuck in the pipes.
That's great.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking like maybe Luigi eats it, but yeah, this is such a great question. Kyle, what's Mario's canon event?
I don't like. I mean, obviously, it'd be Princess Peach being taken, whatever, or like,
sure.
Or Peach actually goes to Bowser to the high school dance as a prom date, and he gets so jealous,
Yeah.
and then he just wants to become the best version of himself to prove to Peach that he's the one.
I was gonna say Peach is is she? Oh, wait, here he is. Mario's having a fight with Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. has Peach. He drops Peach in Peach's castle. Mario goes to save Peach, throws like I
Did
don't
you
know,
see how my
a
shoulders
yeah, you know what's
slumped?
happening.
Exactly
He's
where
able
I knew.
he's able to get her with his big Tanuki tail,
Right.
but the inertia of the drop, Peach does this.
Maybe it was the shock of the fall.
Yeah.
Could be.
You know.
Yeah.
Maybe it
Maybe she
was-
hit her head.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it does say snap in little letters. If you look really close, it says.
Exactly.
So who's to say
Yeah.
what that is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the
Shy
universe.
Guy's the shocker. Yeah.
Sure. Maybe it's the universe where Mario has Cappy,
Okay.
and
There you go.
Bowser uses Cappy accidentally,
Mhm.
and then once Mario gets Cappy back, he can like download Bowser's consciousness into Mario's, and he knows all the evil he's about to do.
Wow.
Mario gets not the black suit, the metallic suit.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Metal Mario. That's the Metal Mario arc.
Yep. Metal Mario arc.
Holy shoot.
I feel so strong.
Right?
Wowie zowie. You know. Yeah.
Mamma mia.
What other like video game character would be funny as Spider-Man? Like to his second part.
That's a what's a.
Can you imagine a murdering Kratos in a Spider-Man suit?
Yeah.
He does have a great canon event already.
Honestly, why isn't there one of Astrobot?
Yeah. Well, listen. You've already got the Uncharted movie starring Spider-Man.
That's fair.
That's true.
We're already
Listen, let's put him in Spider-Man.
Now I want
Come on.
an Uncharted Spider-Man combo in the game where you're swinging through the city as Nathan Drake in a suit, but he has a little sidecar with Sully in it as you're swinging down the streets of NYC.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
I'm in. Oh, Jesus, delicious. That was a
That was a
delicious
great question.
Thank you.
Dewani Rockstar writes in, "Hi guys, I'm on holidays at the moment. Yes, for the launch of D4 Season 2 and Spooderman 2. And I'm basically just refreshing my inbox and Amazon account, hoping that they accidentally ship me Spider-Man a day early. Have either of you ever gotten something you pre-ordered early?"
That's a good question. I know there was like one time.
I think there was a time Walmart was selling a game earlier than they should have. Oh, in college, they sold MLB The Show that year early, and I was able to play it.
I always tried to get like the because everybody's like, look, I got this game early, type
Mhm.
of thing. Some shady YouTubers would do it. Dreamcast guy. And I'd be like, how do I do it? How do I finagle it? I've always tried as a teen, and never could. So always so strict. Mom and pop shops, you go to them now, they're like, we don't have any copies. They don't give us anything. Like the place right next door to me, they're like, we don't get PlayStation games until a week afterwards. I go, what are you hosting a PlayStation show called The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players? Sony don't talk to you like they don't talk to us. Ooh wee.
I will say that when I lived in New York City in my neighborhood, there was a video game store, and they would give me that shit whenever it came in.
Absolutely.
Really?
I was gonna say I know a
What
guy.
store is this? What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it was very like.
I mean, I'm
whenever
all
it
the way
came
out
in.
east on Long Island, so I'm not making the 2-hour
Okay.
trip to the
Of
city
course.
for a game. But I know a
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, but they're cool. They'd be like, "Well, what do you want? We'll text you when it comes in."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Heck yeah, dude."
Who's your guy?
A friend of mine got Persona 5 like 2 weeks early or a week and a half
Yeah,
early
yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that.
Oh, you know what comes to mind actually? Now that you say it, PlayStation Vita and Gravity Rush. There you go.
Ooh,
I got the
PlayStation Vita.
Japanese version of the Vita.
PlayStation Vita release date, same as my birthday. I'm very proud of
really?
this.
Hell yeah.
I'm very
Yes.
proud of this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Love the Vita.
Vita's great.
It lives
Yeah.
in our hearts.
Last
it's fun.
question of the Sony Pony Express. Yeehaw.
Yes.
Funner1 writes in a world of Assassin's Creed collectibles are everywhere. As soon as the world opens up, try to collect all of them and the synchronized locations. Agreed. That being said, some items are locked to a mission, and my question to you is, have you always also been in a situation where you've already collected the item and the reward related to the quest that you have not even started, and now you are locked out of that quest? Hashtag, just because you can collect it doesn't mean you should.
This actually used to happen to me a lot in World of Warcraft. Believe it or not. So many glitched quests that like maybe I got something I shouldn't have, and then it doesn't register right.
There's been times where I have been over leveled, and the ability, because I'm over leveled, just rinses a boss because I guess the devs aren't expecting you to have that ability.
Oh, fair enough. Like you're totally over leveled.
Like you have something you shouldn't, right? Like I think
Right.
of like a Souls game, right? You can totally overpower yourself and make bosses like whatever.
Yeah, you could farm Central
Yeah.
Yarnum for hours and then
Yeah.
mollywop.
I mean, back in the
Father
day,
Gascoigne.
getting a Charizard before the first gym
Yes.
leader, I would do that all the
Yes.
time.
all the time. He doesn't listen to you for 54 moves.
No.
But on 55, he's gonna that guy up.
It doesn't matter.
That
Yeah.
Onyx is going down, which, by the way, is apparently spelled with an I.
And also, listen, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
say here,
Jake. Yeah, that's a Mandela effect. It's spelled with
Are
an
you
I,
sure?
not a Y.
Wait.
Absolutely, it
Onyx?
is.
for-
Onix. And while we're on the subject, I just learned that Lady Gaga's Poker Face has a uncensored version that I've never heard before in my life.
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
I gotta just tell you something,
All right.
okay? I don't want to get on this.
Was I
soapbox,
right,
but I
Jake,
am.
or did I make that up?
Yeah, I guess.
Life's a lie. I'll tell you that.
Man.
And I'm going to tell you this right here, right now. The PC woke virus mind flare has gone too far because it's reached our Pokemon games. And I am tired that all your rivals in this game are nice to you. Bring back when Gary was a complete
Yes.
dickhead to you.
Yeah.
Bring back head rivals.
Wait, are you aware that this is happening right now in the DLC?
They brought back a douchey dude.
Are you aware?
Has
of
like a
this?
rich
The-
dad. He's like, I
the-
just bought all my Pokemon. You poor loser.
there's a new rival in the DLC, and his whole character is that he wants to kill you.
Let's
Music
Like,
to
I
my
take back
ears.
everything I said.
Like in a dark jokery way. Like the
Ooh.
dude literally has a cutscene where he's having like a mental breakdown, scratching his hair out of his head.
Whoa.
I want to drive my rival to insanity.
No, yeah. So like part 2 of the DLC is coming out this winter, and you're supposed to see like him post Joker transformation, like ready to kill you. So it's kind of exciting.
Hell
All right,
yes.
you know what? I take everything I said back.
Yeah, there you go.
Am I about to play Pokemon right now?
I know. I think I am.
It's kind of a good time if you can stomach a absolutely hideous video game.
Yeah, fair.
If you
Yeah,
can-
it's pretty.
yeah.
It's pretty gross.
It's a good time. Yeah, but it's disgusting. Yeah,
it really is just a JPEG that somehow moves.
it's brutal. Yeah.
Well, Kyle, wait, I'm sorry. Did we answer that all? Did we?
We definitely did.
Oh, my answer for that really
yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
It's kind of by design, but like Tears of the Kingdom, there were several times in that game where I would stumble on something and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm at the end of the quest."
Yes.
And you know what I mean? And there it was like, "Oh, I'm in the underground. You found us. You followed all of our hints." And I was like, bah. Yeah. So yeah.
I was here for the ore.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like literally there's a section I got to, like there's like a temple underground. I don't know. Spoilers for the Nintendo game.
Yeah.
And then like they're just like, "Hey y'all, you made it." And I'm like, "Who are you?" What am I doing here? I don't know. I was just getting lost here, you know? Jeez Louise. All right. Well, there you go. That's been the trophy room, guys, gals, everybody. But before we do, I want to put a little spotlight. Jake, where can they find you and all the goodness that you do?
I'm on Twitter at twitter.com, X, whatever, at Jake Knows It, but the nose is like the thing on your face. Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Video
that's how you
viewers,
find-
it's right beneath his face.
That's right. And you can see a lot of my videos, my nonsensical ramblings at youtube.com/GameExplain. I do a lot of shorts. I do a lot of news. I do a lot of nonsense. My Spider-Man content is there. There's going to be some Super Mario Wonder content coming this weekend.
Yes, love to hear it.
And all sorts of good stuff. Hopefully Nick Brawl too, if they get me a code, if the game exists. But yeah, that's me. Twitter's probably the best spot right now. I'm also on like the other social media sites. So like I've got a great Instagram where I'm like showing off, I don't know, my face a lot. So if that's the content you're after,
Guys, yeah, I mean, you sold it with the long pause. I love it.
But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much to both of you for including me and having me on in the trophy room. This was a blast.
You are welcome back anytime.
Oh my
Yes.
god!
Honest to goodness, you're a blast.
Oh, now I'm invested, and I want to hear. I can't wait to hear the reception to Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
Maybe we can do like a spoiler cast once we beat
that'd
it.
be awesome. That would be awesome. Please let me know.
Patreon.com/PS Trophy Room.
Yeah.
Kyle, is there anything you'd like to shout out before we get on out of here?
As always, I'd like to spotlight myself, Mr. K-Step on Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads. I don't use pretty much everywhere. Go follow 61indie. That's SIXONEINDIE. Both .com, YouTube, all that things. We have all of our Next Fest streams up there. A lot of really cool demos that we got to play, and I don't know if I can say it yet, but there might be another mini showcase at some point this year. We ain't done yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
is there something that you're going to be covering next week, Kyle?
No.
Or you don't want to? Okay. All right. Nothing yet.
No.
All right.
Oh,
Keep that one locked in line.
But I do want to say next week, because I'm a madman and a physical media collector, graciously, community member Todd is sending me Spider-Man 2 Collector's Edition. So I will have that. But before that gets to me, I also have a physical copy pre-ordered so I can play it day of.
Fair enough.
Which means I have an extra digital code for the game.
Likewise.
Next week, I am going to do a fun little thing that I told Joe about. He probably forgot.
I did forget.
I'm going to take the code for the game and sprinkle it in the Discord, on our Twitter, and in the YouTube somewhere. You have to find all of them and put them together, and the game is yours. I'll let you know when that happens, but that's the plan.
I love this. A true riddle me this moment.
Exactly.
Oh
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Goodness. Oh boy. Listen, you can find me over at Mr. Badbit on Twitter. Listen, I'll pay him $1. No, I won't. I'm not giving him a cent. But
by the way, I noticed today. I was like, why am I seeing this madman's tweets all the time? I'm not followed to him, but I still see his tweets.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
The power trip that this man is on is insane.
I tweeted at him recently. I tweeted at him. I said, listen, man, you spent $44 billion on Twitter. Throw as a bit, throw me $60,000.
Yeah,
and here's
right?
my thing. That tweet cost me nothing. What if, by sheer happenstance, my man saw it and was like, "Yeah, this is a fun bit."
Yeah.
Like that would be, you know what I'm saying? Like
I've
that
done
would
something
be funny to
similar.
him.
I've done something similar with Mr. Beast. Like, listen,
Yeah.
you know, just pay
Maybe
my
I win the
school
lottery today.
tuition. Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. You can find me on Threads, I guess. I thread there. I knit.
Yes.
Only kidding. Listen, if Threads had like, you could have two profiles on one device, on one app, that'd be fantastic. I'd be there day one. But because you can't have, like, you got to log out and then like,
yes, I'm familiar with this. I
Annoying.
ran into this when trying to run the Game Explain account on there too,
Yeah.
and immediately was like, "Well, this isn't happening." So
yeah, you understand that. You understand the pain.
yeah.
So you can find me over at Mr. Badbit on platform X. Now, when you say it like that, it does have a ring to it. You can follow this show over at PS Trophy Room on platform X. And you can find the show over on youtube.com/@PS Trophy Room. So, with all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody, keep your wits about you, keep hunting, and keep playing PlayStation. See you guys.
Bye. Love you. We are off.
Ooh.